Hello, fellow homebrewers. JP here, and I want to introduce to you the brand new Brew Built X1 Conical Series available at More Beer. More Beer sells the highest standard in homebrewing equipment, and the Brew Built Conicals are just that. They're made from mirror-polished 304 stainless steel, and they come with loads of features that you and I have been looking for. They have a full 2-inch bottom dump valve, which will eliminate your clogging issues, while the sturdy base includes 4 reinforced legs, just like those big Pro tanks do. More Beer also carries the Brew Built line of options and add-ons like casters, pressure kits, and even external glycol chillers. So you can find out more about the new Brew Built X1 Conical Unitanks by going over to morebeer.com for detailed videos on the entire line of Brew Built Conicals. You can trust Brew Built with your next fermentation, and you can trust More Beer to find the right conical for you. Brew Built at morebeer.com.
Home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, beer drinkers.
Get ready for an all-new experience in information exchange and beer culture.
Your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers from around the globe
right to your home.
You're not just listening to broadcasters, it's the Brewcasters
on the Brewing Network.
Well, hey, good afternoon to you, and welcome to the session. It's another great Sunday on the Brewing Network, and we've got a good show planned for you today. Everybody's on time except for JP. Who would you guess the one person who said they're going to be at the show on time that isn't on time?
If I had to guess?
If you had to guess. Even though you know who it is, just play along.
You. You are late.
You're not helping with this bit at all, JP.
I know it's the person that's not here yet.
Doc.
I don't even know, actually. So Doc doesn't know, I think, who the person is supposed to be. A person who says they're going to be here on time all week long and then isn't here. Who would you guess that person is?
Is that the same person that just kind of leaves and doesn't tell anybody?
It's the same person who
Sully!
does that. Oh, Sully. That's right. Sully, and I was told that you schleps in the chat room wouldn't have to deal with JP tonight.
Wah, wah.
You do have to deal with JP, because I was told
all night long, babe.
Stephanie, you know, Sully's girlfriend, was going to help us out in the chat, but they missed a flight or something. They say they're going to be here in the second hour, which usually for Sully means what, like the third or fourth hour, right?
Yeah, he'll be listening in the car on the way here. He'll be calling in.
Yeah. In fact, I'm sure he's tuned into this right now and just like squirming in his little rent-a-car seat.
How is he tuned in?
What he often does is like calls his brother or somebody else and makes them tune in and hold the phone up to it.
Are you serious?
So, yeah, he's a kind of a freak about that
guy's
stuff.
a nutcase.
Yeah, he's a
Hi,
weird
Sean. You're crazy.
So Sully's going to be helping us out later on. We do have a great show planned for you, so we're glad he's coming too, because we got the guys from Schooners with us. And I've been wanting to have Schooners in here for a couple of years now, even though we haven't been on the air that long. Since we started, I knew, well, hey, we got to get the real local guys first. But I had never even been out to Schooners. And then I kind of forgot about Schooners. And then I went to GABF, and they're like getting called up on stage all night long to win medals. And that reminded me of Schooners. And then Pete last week dragged me out. I didn't want to go.
Right. You have a lot of shit to do.
I'm busy. I'm a busy man.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I'll only do your show if we go to Schooners first. And so I went out there, and then I had their beer for the first time. Booked them right away.
There you go.
Instantly. I was like, guys, you're going to come do the show, right? So they're here. Welcome. Sean and Craig are hanging out with us today from Schooners. Welcome, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Hey, how you doing? Glad to have you. And what's really cool about these guys is not only do they have a great kind of a grassroots operation that we're going to get to talk about, and not only have they won a lot of medals, but they're really good at a certain thing that as homebrewers we've all been really interested in lately, and that's
bothering craft brewers?
Aside from bothering other craft brewers, aging beer. And particularly barrel aging and cask aging, and you guys have had some pretty good success with doing that. So we're going to talk to these guys about that. They're going to give us some pointers, some tips, and talk about their process. And Dr. Scott, they brought us some of their aged barley wines and whatnot.
Ooh, I had a feeling we were going to be in trouble tonight.
Yeah. It might be a long night.
Yeah.
But a good one.
Or a very short one.
Now, what'd you bring us, Doc?
I brought you a keg of Hellas.
That's great.
And I got some things in bottles, too.
Really? Now, you're ready, huh?
Oh, it's the brewing season. So.
Yeah. Plus, it's been a while. We haven't been hanging out here too much, so a couple beers for us tonight.
We got to start back at that, because I kind of missed that.
Maybe a hookah at the end of the night and a couple of beers. We'll hang out.
Yeah.
So, I hope that it comes across tonight. I'm feeling good about tonight's
Looking good.
show. I don't have all that pent-up angst and anger that I had last week.
Yeah.
Last week was rough.
I thought you was hungover.
No, I just was... But everyone was kind of angry last week. It was crazy. How about Jameel and Pratt fighting with each other all night?
Oh, yeah, I know.
Did you see the forum? One guy... JP, you know this. What does this mean when Jameel does this? Well...
I don't know.
And it seemed like every other sentence that came out of Pratt, Jameel would go, well... I don't know about that, and then he would have to, correct. And
they were both, just had good points all the way through.
That's what I thought. I actually really felt like they were both doing great.
Did you notice Kevin at the end kind of just backing out?
Yeah,
he didn't want to get into it.
I know. The fighting was getting ugly. I'll tell you what. If I was in a better mood. Because this is what
you would
happens.
have egged them on if you were in a better mood.
That's exactly right. Now, Sean and Craig, you guys should know this because the studio environment is contagious, and so whoever comes in whoever has the predominant mood, it is so contagious, it's unbelievable, and it's just infectious. So
are the microphone covers too, by the way.
Yeah,
don't get too close.
Don't get too close.
Where's my sneeze screen anyway?
So. I mean, just everybody was in a bad mood last week. Kind of, I think it actually, to be honest, I think it started with me and then spread.
Oh, yeah.
It
We're
really
blaming
spread
it on
around.
you.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm good with that. But had I been I really wish I was in a good mood because it would have been our first steel cage match of the Brewing Network history if I would have kind of egged those two on to just go at it. That would have been fun. I dropped the ball.
Fun for you.
I think it would have been fun for everybody. If you read the forum, people are like, yeah, I was waiting for a fight.
I was actually getting a little uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah. Well, at one point, this guy and Justin and I were sitting in here just going, I don't want to go out and get some pretzels.
Yeah, it was at break time,
Yeah,
and the kitchen was even uncomfortable.
Yeah, I was like, I'm just going to stay in my seat.
Yeah. All right.
And then they were at B3 checking in the AHA stuff yesterday. Or
Together.
No,
Friday.
it was Friday, yeah.
Both
Everything was
Pratt
fine, yeah.
and Jameel?
Yeah, I mean, they were fine. They were fine. I think they just once they kind of got out.
Yeah.
No, I saw Jamil, and he's like, hey, I didn't know he was here. And he said, yeah. And then I asked him something. He goes, Kevin's in the back, and bring it back there. And I'm like, oh, you guys aren't like duking it out back there or anything?
Yeah.
And he's, stuck in that small enclosed cold room?
Nah, they're fine. They're not actually... the thing is it's not that they dislike each other. It's not that at all. There was just something
They're both passionate about, judging and beer, and it just shows.
Yeah. Overall, though, I actually thought it was a good show.
Oh, yeah, totally.
It was tough for us. It was one of the toughest shows we've done in a while, Doc. I had a tough time getting through that show, but it was when I listened back to it, I liked the information, and it was a real good show. And part of it had to do, like I said, with my angst. Remember, I was ranting about my roommates and stuff?
Yeah.
Kind of got rid of that. Kicked out my roommate this week.
Whoa, hey!
Yeah, I'm feeling good about that. I'm feeling really nice about that.
I can tell.
I didn't just say get out, put all the stuff on the lawn or anything.
Get the hell out.
I gave him notice, and he's got to go. And
how much notice?
He's got a month. I'm a dick, but I'm not that bad.
The end of the month?
He's got till the 15th of next month. So
pretty good.
Gave him a month, and everyone's feeling good. Like, because I got some other good roommates. We're all actually good friends in here. And
what do you got lined up?
And then we had the one
other room.
We're we are actually thinking of a female with large breasts as our ideal candidate.
Nice.
I'll put that in.
Come with their own vacuum.
With or at least a good vacuum wrist. If you know what I mean. And can just kind of, we're definitely, actually, in all seriousness, we are looking for a female roommate because dudes are they're sloppy and they smell bad.
If it's all guys, if you put a girl in the mix, then they kind of toe them back a little bit.
Dude, I live with two girls right now and my house has never been cleaner.
See?
Yeah.
Maybe
and nicely decorated too, probably.
No, it still looks like shit, but it's clean.
Yeah.
I'm working on getting my laundry done.
You can eat off the plates, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, I just like to walk in when it doesn't smell like feet and ass, like just for one day. That would be nice. So, anyway.
So you get your wish, just one day.
Yeah, just one day. Yeah, the day the kid moves out, that'll be it. So anyway, I just want to point out I'm feeling better, and I think we're going to have a good show tonight, and I think everyone's going to be in a good mood, and if you're not, we're going to smack you around to get you in a good mood.
That's right.
Smackdown.
And that's the way that it's going to go. All right, a couple of I had to, JP?
Yes?
I think I'm supposed to, yell at you for your behavior in the chat room last week. But I have nothing but good things to say about JP, actually. I think JP has been, awesome during the show since Daniela left, by the way. He's been contributing so many things, not only during the live show, but during the week. This kid sends me ideas all week long. We have a great game to play today that JP invented for us. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Doc, you in particular are going to like this game.
Okay.
So it's going to be a lot of fun. And JP's been contributing a lot. He goofed up a little in the chat room last week.
Just a little bit.
He thought it was funny.
Because he banned some people, and he thought it was like a 5-minute ban.
Yeah.
Turns out to be, it's totally permanent. It blocks your IP address entirely. I had to go in there and clear all that up. But I'm not going to scold you, JP. Honest mistake, and I think you've been helping out a lot around here, and I appreciate it. So,
thank you, my friend. I appreciate that.
Back in the chat room tonight, of course, you can join us there to ask questions to Sean and Craig and Doc and JP and myself all night long. Just join JP in the chat room. Hit the Chat Now button right there on the main page. Now, I think Sean, is your family tuned in tonight?
They were trying to tune in, yes.
How young is the youngest person that will be listening?
4.
Okay.
Too young to know what's going on, you think?
Maybe too young to know what's going on. So I think, we'll try to keep it on the up and up with our speech. But I just want to say, if they want to join the chat room, I think that's fine too. The chat room's a lot of fun. I'm going to give the chat room a shout right now. Everybody behave tonight. Be nice people tonight.
Or you might get blocked.
And, or I will let JP block your IP address. So everybody be nice. Let's have a good time. Here's why I ask, guys, so that you don't freak out that our listeners are obscene and ridiculous or anything. They have a lot of fun in that chat room. So, but they're also very respectful as long as we point out who is in the chat room tonight. So we just have to make a point of doing that. Otherwise, they're yelling at each other all night while they're listening, and they're cussing each other out. And it gets,
but it's all in fun because they know each other.
Yeah, so, anyway, join the chat. Hit the Chat Now button. Of course, you can call us. 888-401-BEER is the toll-free number, and you can ask us questions all night long. 888-401-BEER.
Imagine that. Imagine that.
Yeah. All right, couple of announcements. How about an anniversary show update?
We're having an anniversary show?
It's still coming up.
I'll bet.
I've been doing kind of an announcement every week. So this week the announcement is I'm getting a lot of breweries involved now. Spoken to a couple this week, and it's going to be a mini festival. A lot of breweries have been signing up to send beer. I got Drake's to sign up today.
Wow.
Schooners signed up today. They're going to send some beer on down to it. Of course, O'Sullivan's going to send beer down to it because. Well, who else is going to drink Sean's beer? No, I'm just kidding. He's going to send us some good stuff. I shot an email out to Vinny. We'll see what happens with that. So we're turning it into a mini fest, and I'm still working on the homebrew versus craft brew competition I told you guys about last week. So hang in there for more information about that.
Guys at the Bistro's got to love that.
Yeah.
A lot of publicity, a lot of people.
Oh, yeah. It's going to... Plus, I'm going to... did I mention this last week? It's also the 1-year anniversary of the Free FM show. It's really at the same time, so it's a dual anniversary party.
Yeah, because you went to the first show.
Uh-huh.
And
then we did the anniversary show. So I'm going to promote the hell out of it on Free FM, because I can. And I'm also going to try to get the promotions team down. I think there's a couple good-looking chicks on the team. That's why I'm going to do that. They send a van out and stuff.
Chicks and team?
Chicks in a van?
What?
Nice.
So we're going to try to do that. That's going to be a good time. That's coming up, of course, Sunday, June 3rd. So if you haven't bought your plane ticket or your BART ticket or whatever kind of ticket you need to get there.
Or ask your wife if you can go.
Or even ask your wife if you're allowed. Yeah, do that quick, because you're not going to want to miss out. I think there's going to be some pretty unique beers there, and I still have a pretty big surprise up my sleeve that we're going to reveal.
Uh-oh.
Not for a little while still.
Yeah.
Going to hang in there on that one.
Good.
All right, no show next week is our next announcement. I'm going to the Craft Brewers Conference. So is JP. And so there's no show next Sunday. You guys are going to have to find something else to do with yourselves.
With or without pants.
Pants are optional. Here's some good news. We are well on our way to having our own interns, Doc.
Whoa.
Yeah. I contacted the local school. Not high school. It's a community. It's a community college.
JP's face just went sad.
I thought we were going to get a cheerleader team for a second.
Well, I've been wanting to have interns for some time, but the thing that's held me back is that I thought you had to be sort of like a credentialed company. I thought there were some qualifications, and I was worried about calling the university and saying, hey,
give me some lackeys.
Yeah, I do a beer show. I was wondering if you can send some co-eds my way. Turns out it was fine. That's exactly what I said, and they were fine with it. I said, I'm not going to pay these people. I'd really love to get them, credit or something. Do I need to apply? Do I need a credential? Do I need anything? He said, no, we take care of that. So I said, okay.
I'm going to have my own show now.
Yeah, it's amazing. I said, okay, let me make something else clear. I do beer radio. So all we do is we talk about beer. We kind of hang out. We do beer. We take ourselves very seriously. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
But there's beer drinking involved. So is that going to be a problem? No, I don't think that's a problem. It's amazing what they'll send these kids to do.
You gonna let them in on the FM show a little bit too?
I am. That'd
be a plus.
I'll tell you what I'm going to end up looking for. I'm looking for 2 interns.
Mm-hmm.
One intern to run the chat and screen the phones, and then hang out and participate in the show. That'll be the intern with the largest breast.
Of course.
And then I'm looking for another
qualified
intern.
one.
Yeah, the qualified one. I'm looking for a second intern to actually help with the kind of behind-the-scenes audio stuff that we do all the time, because I get a bit overwhelmed with that. Push eject helps me out a lot. Sven helps out a lot. Like to get an intern in here who, really wants to learn about the audio process, because I have some things to teach.
Because radio is an oral thing.
It is, exactly. So, working on getting some oral in here, Doc, basically. So, looking at a couple interns, and what I think we're going to do, I'm going to try to get them to send us like 5 or so our way, and then we're going to do like an intern idol on the air.
Oh, that'd be good.
Idol.
Yeah, and we'll make them kind of jump through hoops, do some beer trivia, a bunch of things like that.
Let's go to 10 then.
And you want 10 of them in here?
Each week we can pare it down a little bit, and we can have the listeners vote.
Could be like a season-long thing.
Yeah.
That might be a good idea.
I think as long as they're here, they should get credit for it.
Yeah, what if they send us like 10 ugly people, though?
Well, it'd be easy to pare it down.
That's true. So that's what I'm looking at. We'll do a little intern idol. Don't worry, chatters and listeners, you guys will get a vote on who you want to work the chat and be your phone screener. And going to figure all that kind of stuff out. So we're well on our way to an intern. The other cool thing is, I do believe we have a producer lined up. We're going to have the Sunday show is going to have its own producer.
Producer? I don't even know.
Yeah, from Purdue. I don't think so. Because it's another thing that we, a lot of times we'll, as I babble on at the beginning of the show like this, we say all these things we're going to do for the rest of the show, and we never get to them, and because we just get sidetracked, and we get...
You had a professor, he'd always say, we're going to have a whole lecture on that later on.
And it never happened.
We never got the lecture.
That's my MO. Yeah. As I listen to the archives, I realize that every week I say something that never happens. So, I'm hoping that...
Like those awards we were supposed to give out last year on Lunch Meet?
Like those.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, I think we got a producer lined up. He's busy for a couple weeks, but we're going to be talking about that. So, a couple of cool things coming up. Have any other?
That's exciting, man.
Isn't that cool to see?
It is, yeah.
I feel like I just fell on silence in the room, but this is good stuff.
No, that is. I'm really excited to hear that kind of thing.
I didn't hear much after interns.
Yeah.
Or after not high school.
I figured. Yeah. Doc's like, can I borrow the intern this week?
I gotta feed my goat.
Okay. 888-401-BEER is our phone number. You can join JP in the chat.
Wake the intern. The intern's sleeping.
All right, let's get started. You guys want to play a game? The new JP, it's called the Lullaby Game.
Let's play it.
Which sounds, I know it sounds gay to start with. But
it might be.
You're going to like it. Here's what we're going to need. I'm going to need a caller to play along with us. 888-401-BEER. It's kind of a name that tune thing. So if you're not good at music, don't pick up the phone. But if you think that you know kind of a variety of classic rock, maybe a little bit of modern stuff, if you're kind of hip to that, you think you can pick out a tune, then call us. 888-401-BEER. Somebody else can Skype us. The Brewing Network is our name, or Brewing Network, or something like that. There can't be a dozen of us out there. You can Skype me, and we'll go 2 contestants on the phone, and then we'll let Doc play for somebody in the chat.
Okay.
All right. I think you'll be good at this game, Doc. So
yeah, a lot of useless trivia.
So JP, type in the chat right now. First person to say freaking out that Doc's going to play the game for them, and we'll give the winner a prize. So. All right, I'll take a call right now. It's going to be, like I said, it's kind of a name that tune thing. I've got some, I'll tell you all about it as soon as we get everybody on the line. We got some freaky sounding music, and you got to figure out what popular tune it is. Caller, you're on the air. Who are we talking to?
This is Tom.
Tom, are you ready to play some of the Name That Tune Lullaby game with us?
Sounds great, man.
All right. Do you consider yourself pretty good with music?
Pretty good.
Okay. All right. You're not a musician or anything like that? You just like
Nah, I'll play the banjo every once in a while, though.
Nice.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Man after your own finger picking. All right. So I just need someone on Skype now so we can have 3 contestants. Just Skype us at Brewing Network or the Brewing Network. We'll have 3 of you in here, and then I'll give you guys a sample to start so that you know what kind of thing you're in for.
Tease us.
And we'll get the game going. What do we got to give away, JP?
We have some stuff.
I love it when you
right next to the
are
things.
so thorough.
It's on the things shelf.
We got some.
How about I have a Hop Union shirt. I have a Hop Union hat. A couple White Lab shirts. I have a White Labs Stein. You've seen the Stein that I have.
Oh, right? Those are nice.
Yeah.
You can give away one of those?
Sure.
All right, let's do that. Let's make first prize a White Labs Stein.
Okay.
And we'll go second prize. What else did you say you have?
Hop Union and White Labs clothing.
Okay.
No pants.
Let's go second prize a shirt, third prize a hat. Everybody wins, right?
Everybody wins.
Win.
There's no losers here.
I don't know.
Doc, you want to know who you're playing for?
Yeah, I'd like to know.
You got somebody?
Sean Haggerty.
Cool.
All right, nobody's Skyping me, so let's just go 2 contestants then, I guess, right?
Skype.
All right, Tom, you ready, buddy?
Yes, sir.
All right, here I'm going to explain the name of the game, and if someone Skypes in between now and then, we'll let you play. If not, F you, and we'll let Doc and Tom go at it here. So I'm going to play you. JP found this cool site. Here we go. Someone's calling in. Brian, is that you, buddy? You there? Brian, I got you on Skype. Turn your mic on. All right, no go for you. Dead air bothers me. Oh, I started to hear him there, and then I dumped him.
Like an Imperial droid in the background.
That's weird. Now, here's one. Let's try this. Looks like we got Mike on the line. Mike, you there?
Yeah.
All right. Whoa.
Mike fell down.
He fell on your computer.
Mike, fall down, go boom.
Mike, it's early in the show to be falling down.
Not on the East Coast.
All right, you there, brother? Mike?
Yeah.
Okay, everybody's here. Here's the name of the game. JP found this cool site that sells lullaby versions of popular music. So if you want to buy like a CD for your infant to go to sleep, you can buy like for instance, like a
Ozzy Osbourne,
like a Megadeth, Ozzy, whatever. You can buy these kinds of things, and it's all in lullaby. So there's no words. It's just that sort of ting 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 jingly lullaby type of a tune. So you got it. You're going to go from the tune. And the first person, now here's what you're going to do. You need to know both the name of the song and the name of the artist. That's the only thing that wins. There are no exceptions.
Too. That's harder than you think.
If you buzz in, and that's how you're going to get to answer, you're going to have to buzz in. We'll get your buzzers sorted out here in just a second. If you buzz in, and you only know one of them, I will open it to the other 2 to go ahead and buzz in, and you have already given them 50% of the answer. You see what I'm saying? So try to know both. The name and the artist. All right, everybody's good with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tom, we're going to have to invent buzzers for everybody. Tom, invent yourself a buzzer noise, or would you like JP to invent it for you?
Let's let JP do it.
JP, please invent Tom a buzzer noise. It needs something that he can do, quickly, because he's going to have to chime in.
I'm always partial to clang.
Okay.
Yeah.
Clang is yours, Tom.
Clang sounds great.
All right, Mike, would you like to create your own buzzer noise or not?
Sure.
All right. Go ahead. Okay, you're going to do that. You're going to hit your bottle there. Right. I'm going to say that you might be at a disadvantage because the volume is kind of low on it. So make it a vocal.
You want to give him another one?
Yeah, give him one, JP.
How about squishy?
Squishy. Is your and whatever you're doing, with your pants off and your microphone on, stop, because it's a lot of noise on the air here. So squishy is your buzzer, Mike.
Got it.
Okay. And maybe you're going to have to yell it because your volume's real low. And, Doc, what do you want yours to be?
I'm just going to go, eh.
Okay. So what do we got? We got clang, squishy, and eh. What is he doing over there?
I don't know.
Sit still, Mike.
Sorry.
He's getting farther and farther away,
Fell off
too.
the stool.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Are you comfortable?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, here we go. Now, I'm going to give you guys, this one is just a clue so that you guys have the idea of what you're going to hear. So anybody can answer. I don't care. There's no points here. Here is an idea. Do you know it yet, Doc?
How do you not know it, Doc?
Yeah, I know.
Go ahead, Doc.
Yesterday, Beatles.
All right. Did you guys get that, Tom, Mike?
Yep.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear it okay?
No problem.
Yeah,
Okay.
very well.
All right, fantastic. Then we will start the game. I'm just going to go down the list, the first person to buzz in. So if you hear it, buzz loud, buzz clear,
Buzz
and we'll
long.
go straight to you. Here is your first tune. It's a good one. Anybody got that? Anybody want to buzz in? Give it a try?
God.
Squishy.
Go ahead, Mike.
Yesterday, the Beatles.
You're close, but no cigar. Anybody else want to chime in? All right. Craig, you
Craig's
look like
got
you
it.
knew it.
I believe it's Metallica.
And the song name?
Was it Inner Sandman?
That's right. That was Metallica with Enter Sandman. I told you, it's going to be some classic, some a little bit more modern here. No points on the board. JP, would you keep points for us, please? You need a... you're already... he's all over it. JP's good at his job. Okay. You guys ready for your next one? Here we go. These are hard, huh?
I'm getting a little tired.
Nobody, huh?
Good Lord.
I was getting stuck into listening to it.
I chose like the most popular ones on the site, too. Anybody in? Craig, did you get that one?
No, not one.
Sean? Anything
No.
there? Chad, did you get that? No. Did you get it, JP?
Absolutely not.
No kidding.
No.
Okay, no points again. That was Take It Easy by the Eagles.
Okay.
Oh, I get it. See, I get it now. Play it again, I'll get it.
You might not.
It starts right here with the chorus.
Take it.
You got to think like a lullaby because they slow them down. So you really got to think of the melody. All right? All right, we'll go on to the next one. Maybe I should do an easy one here.
According to you, that was easy.
I really thought that one was easy. Let me try to think. What is the easiest one I have? Here's the easiest one I have, I think.
Okay, that was Tom.
Clang got it first.
Led Zeppelin, Stairway to Heaven.
That's right.
All right.
All right. Somebody's on the board. Very nice. That was definitely the easiest one that I have. I'll try, let's see, I think I have another fairly easy one.
A couple guys in the chat room are getting it. A lot of them are being whiny women, but Code got the Eagles.
Did he?
But he didn't get the song name, so.
All right, try this one, fellas. Here you go. You got it, JP?
Yeah. Yeah, I do actually. Yeah. Chad should get it too.
Chad's got it. Nobody? Chad, who is it?
No Woman, No Cry.
That's right. It's Bob Marley, No Woman, No Cry. Give somebody Chad's name in there. Chad's now in the game because he got that.
All right, here we go.
Let's put Chad in the game. Chad's my roommate, everybody.
The one that's getting to stay.
He's actually possibly a future producer of the show, so you might get to know him a little bit better.
Yeah. I don't know, he's kind of unreliable.
So whoever says Chad there in the chat room, he's your guy.
Okay, here we go.
You've already got a point. Okay, ready? Here's another one for everybody.
I got it.
Go ahead.
Eagles, Hotel California.
That's right. Dr. Scott's on the board. Hotel California. All right.
That's my mantra.
You're good with that Eagles there. Okay, here you go. Here's one that everybody should know. Good old classic, everybody. All right? Here you go.
Oh, come on. Doc.
Go ahead, Doc.
It just went out of my head.
It's still open then.
We have a player for Chad, so if Chad knows it.
Beach Boys?
Yeah, do you know the name of the song?
Name of the song.
It'd be nice. I don't know the name of the song.
You just said the name of the song.
Yeah.
Give him the point.
we need a noise for Chad.
Yeah, I got
Chad, you
Beach
need
Boys, but I couldn't think of the name of the
You
song.
need a buzzer noise, Chad.
Socks?
Just say Chad.
Chad.
Okay.
Chad.
Mike, Tim, how you guys doing there?
Fine.
It's Tom.
Sorry. Yeah. Hey, get a song right. I'll get your name right.
He got one.
That's true.
Get two.
All right, let's give you another easy one, guys. I got to find the easy stuff here. What are you guys good at? The classics or the moderns?
Classics, probably.
Classic.
I'm kind of classic myself, so.
I like your logic, though.
Yeah. All right, try this one. Every guitar player on earth should know this.
Chad.
Go ahead.
Elton John?
No. And take a point away from Chad for being gay. Nah, he can still have his point.
Every guitar player should know this. Elton John?
Right? Yeah, Elton John, exactly. Doc, you don't know that, huh?
Playing.
Go ahead.
Nope.
Let's see. Eric Clapton, Tears in Heaven.
No.
Good guess, though. Oh.
That was the giveaway.
Yeah.
Right, the last notes. I saw a light go off.
Yeah, I did, but.
Craig, what is it? I saw you.
No, it's just hanging there.
Oh,
I
it's
can't
just
pick it up.
Wow. All right.
No one got it?
Maybe this game sucks, JP. I don't know.
You want me to get it?
Go ahead.
Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon.
Not the name of the song.
No.
The name of the band is right. It's Wish You Were Here.
Wish You Were Here. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I don't know much Pink Floyd, but even I know that one.
You guys have all heard the song, right?
Yeah. I can play it, but yeah, I should have known it.
Let me try.
Should sound more like.
Don't beat yourself up, though, Doc. It's
Yeah,
all right.
I'm going to go out and, yeah.
Now, you guys are doing bad with
blood, I think.
Put my head through a window.
You guys are doing bad with the classics. I'm going to do a modern one. I'll try
All
this
right.
one. Here you go.
Chad.
Go ahead.
Nirvana?
Yeah. Name of the song?
Come As You Are?
That's right.
Oh!
Chad got it.
Coming out ahead 3 points.
Very good. Did you know that, Mike?
No,
Or was
I
that-
suck at this game.
Okay. Really looking for easy ones here.
Oh, Jesus. What's wrong with you people?
I got it.
Go ahead.
Beatles, Yellow Submarine.
There you go.
Good Lord, thank you for saving my ass, Doc. This is getting ridiculous. I can't tell if the game sucks or the contestants suck.
It's just also MIDI. It just doesn't sound...
No, it is. But that's the name of the game. I mean, if I just played you a clip of the real song, it's too easy.
No, it's not that, but it just, they all kind of have that.
Takes a while. All right, try this one. What's the score? We're only doing a couple more. We're getting out of this.
Chad, playing for Wart Ninja, has 3.
Really?
Doc, playing for Sean, has 2. And Tom, playing with himself, has 1.
Okay.
And Mike has nothing.
So.
Hang in there, Mike. Let's try this one. Go ahead.
Gosh, I can't think of it.
Come on, Tom, you can do it.
Still open if anyone else wants to buzz in. Go ahead, Chad.
Led Zeppelin, but I don't know the song.
Kashmir.
Okay. Oh.
I said that.
Anybody else have it?
Kashmir.
I'm going to have to nullify that point because Craig cheated.
Outside help.
All right, one more.
Yeah, we can do one more, and if Doc gets it for Sean, then
it's
we
a
have
tie,
then it's
right?
a tie. Yeah.
All right.
All right, so I can drop the callers then, because we're only doing one more. Thanks, guys. Good job. Good effort.
You're just saying that.
Yeah, I don't mean it. You guys sucked. All right, Doc,
but
for
play
the tie.
again.
And we'll go ahead just for fun's sake. We won't even let Chad buzz in on this one. It's all you. You just have to get it.
Come on, Doc.
Oh.
I'm even trying to stack the deck here. Let me find a good one for you.
So if Doc doesn't get it, then Chad automatically wins.
Yeah.
Okay. So Chad, sit back, man.
Wart Ninja.
Oh man, I got people. Hang on a sec. I don't know, Doc. I'm trying to set it up for you. That's kind of hard.
Now I got my phone ringing too. My phone's buzzing in my pocket.
You don't know it either, Chad?
I did.
You do know.
I wasn't even listening, sorry. My phone's ringing, and it might be my wife. She's called twice in the last 5 minutes, so let's...
If she's not pregnant, get rid of your phone.
You know, somebody better be bleeding for her to call me in the middle of the show.
All right, I'll give you another one then, just because I'm a nice guy.
I will listen to this one.
Should give you one we've already done and see if you can get it. I don't know which one of these sounds really obvious.
None of them.
That one's pretty obvious. I bet it's on one of your banjo CDs.
It's a Zeppelin song.
Uh-huh.
Going to California?
That's it! We got a tie game, everybody! All right. Do I have one that you guys can get? Let's try this one.
It's a Pink Floyd song.
That's right.
The Wall?
Correct album, but not the name of the tune. Chad, you can buzz in on this. This is the tiebreaker. You don't know it.
Oh, Mama, Take Me Home. What's the name of the song? Mother?
That's it.
Yeah.
Whoa!
It's just ringing in my head. What's that song? Okay.
Oh, man, that was painful.
Yeah. A couple too long there.
Yeah. How did the chat room do? Were they getting all those?
I don't know. Let me wake them up here. Hang on a second.
Because we might have to get them involved next time and just do it that way.
Some of them were, yeah. And then they just kind of went off making jokes. You know?
Okay.
Hey, it's Mandy Moore song and that kind of, the really funny stuff that the chat room likes to put out.
Yeah, that's a funny one. Are you sure that wasn't one of yours?
Maybe.
All right, everybody. We got Schooners in the house with us today, and when we come back, we're going to find all about that brewery. It's out in Antioch here in California. They won a bunch of awards. They're going to help us figure out how to barrel-age beers, too. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Boobs a lot. You gotta like boobs a lot. Really like boobs a lot. You gotta like boobs a lot. Boobs a lot, boobs a lot. You gotta like boobs a lot. Down in the locker room, just a wee boy. Beating down the locker room with all that noise. Singing, do you like boobs a lot? You gotta like boobs a lot. Boobs a lot, boobs a lot. You gotta like boobs a lot. Do you wear your jock a lot? Yes, I wear my jock a lot. Got to wear your jock a lot. Gotta wear your jock a lot. Jock a lot, jock a lot. You gotta wear your jock a lot. Got to wear your jock a lot. Gotta wear your jock a lot. Down on the football field, you never can tell what a heel can wheel. So you gotta wear your jock a lot. Gotta wear your jock a lot. Jock a lot, jock a lot. You gotta wear your jock a lot. If I had a flag along, if I had a flag along, if I had a long flag along, if I had a long flag along, if you like boobs a lot, tag along. Beep beep bop, you boob a lot. Yes, I like boobs a lot. Boobs a lot, boobs a lot. You gotta like boobs a lot. Big and round, they're all around. They're big and round, they're all around.
Sit down next to it, grab yourself a paper towel, and watch those yeast have sex.
You're listening to the Brewing Network.
The smell of a burning cross in the yard. You do goose-step salutes in your Doc Marten boots, and you quoted Mein Kampf in our 5th anniversary card. I think you're a Nazi, baby. Are you a Nazi? You might be a Nazi, baby. love is blind, so how could I have guessed? But then again I met you at the Wagner Fest. I know you're a Nazi, and that's why I'm leaving. I know you're a Nazi, sure as my name is Stephen Lynchbergstein.
The Brewing Network, saving your life.
One beer at a time.
All right, back in action here on the session. It's the Brewing Network at thebrewingnetwork.com, and we got Schooners in the house with us today, which is very exciting. We're going to be talking about barrel-aged beers and barley wines and all the awards that these guys have won. It's amazing. I love it when the smaller places, JP, are kind of, that you wouldn't think that you'd go to find great beer, and it's just like an oasis in the middle of nowhere. And these guys are just like that. So we're going to talk about that. 888-401-BEER is our number if you want to ask them any questions yourself, or of course you can join JP in the chat room and he'll pass along your questions to me, and you can Skype us at Brewing Network. So lots of ways to get to us, everybody, all the regular stuff. And happy to have you guys in the studio. Let's get to know you a little bit. We've got Craig, who is now the head brewer at Schooners. Is that right?
That's true. I've been doing it for about 3 years now at Schooners. The previous brewer who opened with Schooners had left, so I got to take it over.
You didn't, take them out or anything like that?
No, fortunately, that didn't happen. It wasn't ugly in the brewery, but...
A mash paddle to the knee.
It's easy to clean up, though, so no one would know.
Very nice. That's true, actually. You could easily dispose of body parts in a brewery.
Sure. Hose it right down the drain.
You need to just feed them to the cattle with the rest of your spent grain. It's easy to do. And then also we've got the founder of Schooners, Sean, in the studio with us.
Yeah.
Lots of Seans on the Brewing Network, and just another one with us here. Were you the brewer to begin with when you first opened the brewery, or did you always have a head?
No, I never had time to do any brewing when we opened. I just kind of, with the operations in the restaurant, running the whole thing, I just oversaw what was going on in the brewery, but never really got a chance to brew.
Okay, so a lot of the brains behind the operation, although you were a home brewer as well.
Craig and I started back in 89, 90 as homebrewers, yeah.
You did? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, our first batch was in my small apartment in our kitchen, and after probably a fourth or fifth batch blew up in the bathroom. The raspberry stout. We were banned. We were banned from brewing anything in the house. So
is that right?
Yeah.
Did you then kind of increase your setup and go brew outside, or then you decided you have to open a craft brewery at that point?
We slowly increased our setup. We got the Costco King cooker, and so we've got the dual burner outside, sort of thing. But I'd been saving Grolsch bottles for a couple years back. Back in the day when it's hard to get those sorts of things. So I've been saving it for a couple of years, getting those pop tops.
Yeah.
And finally, after about 2 years, I had enough to do a batch, and he had the kit for his girlfriend had brought from Canada at the time.
Okay.
So we
smuggled it.
Right, exactly. So we cooked that baby up, bottled it up, and we thought it was pretty special at the time.
Okay.
Now, what would you say now?
Yeah, what do you think?
I'm glad there's none left. So.
All right, now I know, Craig, that your history before you were a professional brewer is very interesting. I want to hold off on it a little bit. I alluded to it a little bit on the last show, so I want to hold off on that. I want to know, Sean, what you did before you decided to open a brewery and how that kind of came about. When did Schooners open first?
This month, 6 years ago.
6 years now. Okay.
Yeah.
So before that, what was your gig?
Craig and I were both pre-med students at San Jose State, and back in the late 80s. And he went off, got his master's in biology, and I went off to UC Davis and got a master brewer certificate from the program up there at the college.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
To hell with med school.
To hell with med school.
No kidding.
And
good choice.
Just before I graduated from Davis, Black Diamond had just opened up in Walnut Creek.
Uh-huh.
And their brewer was helped open up the brewery in El Dorado in Reno. Okay. He was moving on, so I started running that was there for 4 years, moved out to Antioch, had been around restaurants most of my life, and moved out to this town of 75,000 people, and there's no place to eat. It's absolutely none.
Yeah. That's true. And let's talk about that just for a second, because we have listeners from all over the place who have no idea what Antioch is. Antioch is kind of a commuter community that has been built up in the Bay Area here, and it's kind of a result of the extreme cost of housing in California, and particularly in the San Francisco Bay Area. So what you have is a lot of people who make really good money working in the Silicon Valley and in San Francisco and even closer in Walnut Creek here, but they can't afford to live where they work. So these communities out a bit farther from the Bay, Antioch, Brentwood, a couple other communities there, they just started. It was just one of those big booms where
build.
Yeah,
but it was all houses.
Yeah,
no place to eat or shop.
And you could get a great house. I mean, compared to what you'd get in San Francisco for a fraction of the cost. Yeah. So it just exploded. And then that kind of brings us to exactly what you guys are saying, where it was all houses, but then not a whole lot else.
Yeah.
But you did have these communities built out there, so all weekend long and evenings, I mean, everybody's home and they don't want to go anywhere because they commute all week long.
Right.
And there's not a whole lot of anything to do. So I think a lot of businesses kind of popped up, a lot of big movie theaters, a couple of bowling alleys, you know, your regular stuff. And then I guess 6 years ago, here comes Schooners.
Well, it started probably 8 years ago. I decided to start investigating the opportunity to open a restaurant. I originally went to the owners of Black Diamond and said, hey, you know, I think we should open one of these out here in Antioch. And they weren't interested, and I respected that. So I started gathering information to write a business plan.
Yeah.
Raise money, and eventually I left Black Diamond just to pursue it full time. I knew if I was going to make it happen, I had to give it my all.
Okay.
So
now, backing up to when you were going to med school, you weren't you weren't going to be a proctologist or anything, right?
That wasn't the plan, no.
What did you want to be?
We got the wrong guest.
Yeah, you're
most pre-meds, until they get into med school, they really don't figure out what they're going to be until...
You never know.
Yeah.
Now, how much of a fortune did you spend on med school before you decided to go to Davis?
Well,
it was all pre-med.
It was all pre-med. It was all undergrad, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not too bad yet.
There's a lot of science.
Now, when you told your folks at the time, or whoever it mattered to, I don't know if you were married at the time or anything else, when you said, hey, I'm going to go ahead and drop out of med school and go learn how to brew beer, how did that conversation go?
I think the quote from Mom was, great, instead of healing people, you're getting them drunk. Yeah, that was the quote from Mom.
It's just a different way of healing, though.
Yeah, different. I agree.
Was it a sore subject, or were they supportive?
My dad, you know, probably didn't really carry the way, and I think my mom was one that took it.
My son's not a doctor, damn it.
Much.
I mean, that's the dream for a parent. And you were going for it, and then you shot him right in the face with your beer dream.
Sure.
Was Dad a beer drinker at the time?
A drinker, yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. By the way, you're surrounded by those guys. Don't worry about that. Okay, so fair enough. Well, how about now? I'll get back to it, but fast forward. How do they feel about your decision now?
And, you know, a restaurant owner, working hard, trying to raise a family, typical. They see them just, accept it more now.
Well, you got a master's degree. They got to give you something for that.
Sure.
Come on.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And not only that, I think a lot of people who don't know about brewing don't realize that's basically a chemistry degree too. I mean, you're not a slouch over there drinking beer through your education.
It's probably the biggest misconception. Your brewery, all you do is drink beer all day. Couldn't be further from the truth.
Or how many ounces in a pint, and then you got you're a master.
Yeah, chemistry, biology. I mean, you pretty much needed it to get into Davis, and Davis's brewing school was pretty much built around pre-med curriculum. I mean, it really
is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they want to suck away all the pre-med students.
What's that?
The dropout rate.
Was it a high dropout rate there too?
Yeah.
Because it's tough?
Oh, yeah. No, it's a misconception. They think that, I'm going to brewing school. And then it's the same way people are like, I'm going to take some chemistry. It's not chemistry, it's math.
The flip side of it too was, I was a pretty good student all through high school and college, and I got up to Davis thinking I was going to be, kind of the top guy up there. And
it's a cold slap in the face.
I was blown away by some of the talent that was going there too. I mean, talking 4.0 Penn State grads and stuff like that. I mean, we're talking. There was a cream of the crop there also. Okay. There were some guys that were blown away by the curriculum as far as didn't expect it to be so tough. There were some other guys that were like, I'm going to rock this boat.
Well, the dichotomy of the the program as well. It's half engineering and then half biology, and usually you don't get those two things
they don't mix
together
too well usually.
Right. The thermodynamics versus yeast budding. It's
yeah.
How's that fit together?
So overall,
Life science
I wanted to ask,
yeah.
just real quick, because there's a lot of homebrewers out there. We always talk about Davis. It sounds like you guys all think really highly of the program. Is it something that you would recommend to anybody who wants to go into brewing?
If you're very serious about it, I would. It would be same if you're serious about being a chef and going to culinary school. It's a huge endeavor.
Okay.
Expense. Commitment. I mean, if you're really serious about it, if you're just sitting there going, I like beer, I like to drink beer, I want to go to Davis. But, I mean, as far as the curriculum, and there's only 3 schools that are recognized by the Institute of Brewing in the world. One's in Davis, one's in London, and one's in Germany. I mean, that are recognized by the Institute of Brewing.
Really?
So if you just know your heart tells you this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be paid a lot for what you do, then you got to go into brewing.
So, all right, let me get this right. If you want to do what you love and you want to be poor, go for it.
Yeah.
That's why we go into radio.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
I've lived that dream.
Yeah. JP's doing it now. In fact, it's even a step below. He decided to be a professional home brewer. He works at a homebrew shop for a living, which is even less than being a professional brewer. Hey, way to stick to your guns, JP.
Hey. Maybe someday I can be on your show.
Yeah, absolutely.
And not get paid.
Yeah.
So 8 years ago, you're putting this together. You decide you're going to do it yourself.
Yeah.
I can imagine. I'm picturing you're brewing for a company. You've got some college debt. You're probably not loaded at that point. How do you come up with the capital to start this thing?
A lot of it had to do with fate. I mean, I ran into a couple people, a lawyer, an accountant, and some people that guided me to write a business plan, showed me how to raise the money.
Okay.
Got some timely articles come out in the newspaper that told about my dream, trying to make this happen. That got some people to call and say, hey, I want to see this business plan. Hey, I want to invest.
Oh, great.
And just like I said, it took the perfect scenario for it to happen.
Yeah. And
it was obviously meant to be because when people that are in the business or any kind of a business type where they say, this is what it takes to get a business open, they look at this and go, you should have never gotten that done. I mean, the loans that I got through SBA, it's like they don't give those loans anymore.
Yeah. I've looked at those.
So people say it really was short of a miracle that I was able to get it open. And
no kidding.
Looking back, I would have to agree.
Help with 21A as well.
Yeah?
Going down to...
Yeah, going back to Sully.
Seeing their business plan and things like that?
Sully helped me out a lot. He was my inspiration. We both kind of went through this. The timing of it was very similar. He was a little ahead of me. I saw him go through everything that I went through, but he got it done, and that gave me the inspiration to keep fighting. So I would just, when Sully finally opened, I'd go out there and just sit in one of his chairs at his table just to sit there and go, he did it, I can do it.
Yeah.
I mean, and he would tell me this is like, Sean, you can do it.
Right.
But you got to points where it's like, what am I doing?
Yeah. It does get tough, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And you're spending money you don't have, and you're,
oh man.
Anytime you're just kind of shooting after the dream, man, it gets rough. You gotta plug away. That's great. And actually, Sully's great like that across the whole industry. He's really good for supporting people and kind of pushing them to do their dream because, he was a guy who decided, he was doing, law interning, and he's like, I am miserable here writing papers all day, and I don't want to do this. And he left a pretty good gig to go be an assistant brewer somewhere.
Yeah.
And then, a few years later, he's got the 21A, and they're doing great.
But he's happy?
Yeah.
Flying all over the place, missing planes?
Missing shows?
Yeah.
He's still with that big head.
And still got a big red head.
But I noticed the chair we saved for him.
All right, so... instant success when you guys open? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, too much though. It was over the top.
Okay.
I mean, we knew we were on.
People were hungry.
We knew we were on something special, and we knew it was going to be big. Our accountant was trying to tell us how to develop a model that if you're big, great, you'll be successful. But if you're not big and you plan for big, you're going to be out of business. And
okay.
So, we tried to accept that philosophy, but we down deep knew it was going to be big. And I actually planned on opening 2 or 3 of these things. And when we opened up, I had 3 GMs, 3 executive chefs on staff, people that were working in Redwood City, commuting and working over here, and they didn't want to commute anymore. They're willing to come help open this place, take a major pay cut with the hopes of opening other places.
Yeah.
Closer to them.
Yeah. So I opened up going, God, I can open 2 more of these after this one. I've got the GMs and the chefs on staff to do this all right away. And all of a sudden, 6 months later, everyone's gone.
Right.
I mean, it's just,
they couldn't hang.
We were on a 2-hour wait 7 nights a week. It was it was just so beyond what we thought it could be.
And those guys just didn't like that? They were fed up with it, or?
It was out of control.
I see.
And they came into this with the plan that he was going to open someplace closer to them. They would manage that place, like down in Redwood City, which is 30 miles from here. 30 minutes probably.
Mm-hmm. Redwood City?
From here.
Oh, from Concord, yeah. Well, with the commute, morning commute, it would be a 2-hour.
Right.
Absolutely.
But it's far enough away, but not that far away.
Sure.
But you promise somebody this, they're not planning on moving, and they don't want that commute.
Right.
And you couldn't come up fast enough with the new place.
Well, we couldn't get through the day with enough food in our refrigerator to feed people.
Wow.
I mean, that's the kind of problems we had. We had refrigerator trucks parked out back that our food vendor lent us the first 3-4 months.
No kidding.
Just because we couldn't get enough food in our walk and even get to the day.
What a great opening.
I mean, it was just, and everyone goes, oh yeah, everyone wishes they had that,
Oh, it's a nightmare in itself.
It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. I mean, it literally probably wasn't until the 9th or 10th month after opening that I felt like we could pull our ass or head out of our ass. I mean, it really, it was just like, before you came in, it was war every day. It was going to war.
Wow. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But the problem is we still get people to this day say, oh yeah, we came by the first couple months and it was nuts. We haven't been back. And 6 years later. So we're still fighting that as well.
Just to get people back in there.
Yeah.
We're here with Sean and Craig from Schooners. If you're just tuning in, they're talking all about how they got started. I keep trying to get Doc to take a pay cut and work for the Brewing Network.
I'd have to give him money.
Yeah. The problem is that you would have to pay me. He won't do it. Wow, well, it sounds like, I know it's a tough problem to have, but it's a lot better than the problem of standing around twiddling your thumbs.
Sure,
so,
no doubt.
Good for you guys. And so, here you are now, after you opened, it's 6 years later. You started with a different master brewer when you had first opened.
Yeah, my assistant at Black Diamond followed me over to Schooners. A great home brewer. And it had been actually back in the old original days with Devil Mountain when they moved out to Benicia. He was from Benicia.
Okay.
It was actually worked for them. And he was a solid brewer. And so he opened with me.
All right.
And met a gal in the Air Force stationed at Travis. She got transferred to Texas. Mm-hmm. And at that time, I was getting ready to open another one in Livermore a couple years ago.
Uh-huh.
And called up Craig, who was out in Boston at the time, and he said, why don't you take about an 80% pay cut and come be a brewer for me?
You have to buy your own plane ticket on the way out. But.
Well, I wasn't going to send him a plane ticket or anything, but I said, come on, do the numbers. You move out here to Brentwood, you'd be surprised. You'd be able to, even if I don't open it, I'm sure just on your income from your wife, you'd be able to make it work.
Yeah.
He called me 30 days later and said, we're coming home.
Oh.
So, and then the Livermore did fall through, and Chris, his wife, got transferred to Texas, and Craig took over the brewery in Antioch, and since then it's just been having a ball.
Okay. All right, and I still want to get to that story because that's fantastic. But how did you guys meet in the first place? You said that it was at med school? You guys were going to school together?
No, pre-med.
Pre-med, rather. You guys met at university.
Actually, we both started interning at San Jose Medical Center, doing phlebotomy.
Oh yeah,
we were in the
everybody does that.
Exactly. Well, they get 2 weeks, 2 weeks to a month of free labor out of you, drawing blood, basically, and then they give you a certificate at the end of that. Well, we were in the same starting class of 3 phlebotomists, so we kind of got to know each other there, and then figure out we had some classes together and that sort of thing after that. So, and love of baseball and that sort of thing. So,
all right,
that's kind of how we got together.
And then, so he bailed and went to brew school, and you stuck with med.
Well, I think bailing is a tough term there, but
he made the hard decision to move on in another direction of their life.
Yeah, he bailed.
Well, I think it's the summer in between our undergrad and graduate work. So we were both studying for the MCAT and took it. I ended up plunking quite a bit of money into medical school applications. I can thank my wife for that understanding. But
okay,
did you go on the interviews? That's expensive.
I wish I had at least gotten an interview for all that money. But,
Now, what do you mean? Just to apply to schools gets very expensive?
Yeah, I put about $4,000 into just applications.
So you put applications in, and then you get the letters back that say they want to talk to you. Then you got to go fly.
Right. And then there's a
everywhere.
Secondary application for another $50 or whatever, and then they
really.
It's not cheap. And
so give me a rough idea. What does it cost to apply to one school?
It's usually $50 to $100, and then that's just the
paper.
Primary. Right, that's the primary application. And then they send you a secondary application for another $50. Going, okay, we received it. Give us another $50. So
and then you try that, and it goes to the second round, and then if they want to talk to you. You got to go actually see them. If it's Boston, then you got to go to Texas and Atlanta. You got to fly around.
Okay.
And when you're a poor student already, that ain't fun.
All right, so you had gone through all of that.
Yeah, so, we were, biotech was starting to take off then, and it looked like medical school wasn't going to happen for me. So biotech was starting to take off, so I, jumped on that bandwagon, ended up finishing my master's, and, going into it, anyone who knows about biotech and that sort of thing, a master's is kind of a super bachelor's, and I really didn't want the PhD, but I knew
then you have to teach.
I know, exactly. The master's would give me at least an advantage in the marketplace. So, I ended up getting in with a great biotech that was starting, some great technology in, gene discovery and gene, expression.
Yeah.
And that allowed me to, secure a really nice job at Harvard running a core facility, for them using this technology.
Okay.
So after about 4 years, that's when I was hitting my burnout point.
Wait. Stop for a second, because I think you're being modest here. I at least want to cover. So you're at Harvard. You didn't just get on some gene program. The rumor has it you actually helped do the first mapping of the human genome? Like,
that would be overstating. That's a different area. What we were doing was taking the known genes, putting them onto basically a 1x3 microscope slide, and spotting 10,000 known genes onto a microscope slide, and then taking cancer samples and, through various labeling techniques, putting them onto that slide, and we could tell which genes were active in the cancer samples versus a normal sample. So then the researchers would use that technology to identify target genes, to look, for cancer therapies.
JP, I don't know about you, but I think that's mapping the human genome. And I also feel really dumb.
What? I found some pictures with some
naked pictures
with some girls.
I mean, these are the people who brew our beer, and it never ceases to amaze me their background. And don't get me wrong.
I'm a lot happier now.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I'd have given that up too. This is a lot.
Yeah, you can drink the beer, you can't lick the slides.
That's exactly.
But you could.
I'm not really into fashion, with all the jeans and stuff like that.
Well, you're doing fine over there.
Thank you.
All right, good job. 888-401-BEER. Plus, you can join us in the chat. We're here with Sean and Craig from Schooners. So, all right, so now you're at Harvard for 4 years, you say, before you got found?
Yeah, exactly. And, the stress of stuff, Harvard's number one for a reason. And, you have all these MD PhDs over your shoulder every single day going, you're ruining my publication. You give me results now.
Are there any hotties in the lab at Harvard, or is it all kind of,
dipsticks?
He had one.
Like people who never got a date.
There's a couple.
There is?
Yeah. And you're amazed. It's, these MD PhDs, and they're pretty hot. You're like, wow.
Yeah. Brains and okay, go on.
Exactly. So the stress was definitely getting to me, and even the Boston area has the hour and a half long commute. So those long commutes, the pressure at Harvard and stuff. It was about the time he called me. I'm like, man, I just don't know if I can step away. And it wasn't 30 days. I think it was more like 13 days or something like that. But, just to get through those numbers on what was going on.
And you were younger then. Imagine doing that now.
Yeah, I know.
You'd be really burned out.
Exactly. So,
hey, look who's in the studio.
Oh, it looks like the Sully crew might have made it.
All right.
At least Stephanie's walking in. Okay, go on, please. So
I think it was about 13 days later. I said we can do it. We're moving. So I asked him if he would pay for an interview and a flight back, but I don't think that was going to happen.
He said, "No, I want you." He said, "No, here's the deal. I want you to take a pay cut, move across the country, and no bonus, no help."
Will you pay for my move? No, I was okay.
That's my kind of guy. Sean, I'm like that kind of employer, too. I'm like, hey, JP, listen, I'm wondering if you can come spend every one of your Sundays, one of your only days off, here in the studio. What
Sounds
you'll
good
do
so
is
far.
deal with people berating you in the chat room all night long.
Great,
and I won't pay you anything.
Oh,
and can you bring homebrew when you come over?
You didn't actually ask him that, did you?
I did. Yeah. So I think that me and Sean have a lot in common. This is how the conversation went with Craig.
Right, but it's an amazing experience. Being able to start brewing on a professional system, and in many ways, home brewing in your driveway, smoking a stogie is fantastic. But at the same time, just throwing switches and hooking up hoses is a lot easier than some of the homebrew stuff you do as well.
Yeah, but that's the going in part. Cleaning up afterwards is a big
I think
deal too.
Brewing actually on homebrew is easier, but dealing with fermentation and sanitation and oxygen issues later on down the line is a lot easier on a professional system.
Okay, so you hadn't professionally brewed at all. You went from home brewer to
That's correct.
So what was the deal, Sean, that you felt really confident asking him to come do it? Was it the biology plus
Sure, it was Craig's a sharp guy. We're both in biology and chemistry. Craig's always told me his dream one day is to be a professional brewer. I mean, that's been his dream. And I don't have a brother, but I always considered Craig like a brother. We've been friends now for almost 20 years.
Okay.
And I consider him like a brother, and I knew if he ever got into professional brewing, he would have a lot of fun.
Closer than brothers.
Okay.
Brothers fight.
That's probably true then. I mean...
All right, let me go to the phones here. With that, let me segue to the telephones. I think we
watched that movie way too much.
I know.
Boob, what's happening, man?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
It's good. You got a question for these fellas?
Yeah, I'm looking at their website here, and I'm wondering which of the hot blondes in bikinis is which one's what.
Good question.
I'll let Craig answer that one.
Good question.
To tell you the truth, I can't remember. One of them's a regular of ours, Dawn, and then I can't remember the name of the
model.
The model. She had just had a baby, I think, 3 weeks prior to that shoot. So.
No way. No.
Yes.
Yep.
You just ruined it for. Oh, I'm looking at him now. Oh, what is this all about? Where?
That was for the Celebrator swimsuit issue last year that we were shooting shots for that.
Ruined here.
Schooners, okay, everybody, it's schoonersbrewery.com if you don't know it. And, okay, so
this gallery section.
Celebrator does a calendar every year. In fact, I just saw an ad in their last Celebrator where they're looking for brewers to say. I thought it was a spoof, when I saw the ad, I thought it was a spoof calendar where they actually want the brewers to get into
Some do.
bathing. See, I think that's funny. That'd be hilarious. Do. Oh yeah, you got some.
I see nothing funny.
Well, we submitted again this year. This time we had 3 models. 3 or 2?
3.
3 models, and it's coming up. We're trying to get the cover.
4. Actually, we had 4.
4 models.
Is that
we
right?
thought we were going to get the cover last year.
That's my favorite. Right?
So we're hoping for the cover this year.
So you got none of these are your wives or girlfriends. These are extra people.
One is a model and one is a regular at Schooners.
A regular, I see. What nights does she go? Never mind. Hey, good question, Bub.
Good.
I think Bub's done.
All right, thank you, Bub.
See you, bye.
I didn't even have to use the Bub timer on him. But, all right, so you decide to go ahead and do it, and you have to now. You get the offer, and you're kind of fed up at Harvard. And what does your wife do? Apparently, she does pretty well.
She's does marketing for SAP.
Okay, so you come home to your wife and you say, "Listen, I want to move to Antioch." And I mean that the way I say it, by the way. I want to move to Antioch. I want to brew beer for a living. I'm going to take a pay cut, et cetera, et cetera. How does that conversation go?
Actually, it goes really well. She was born, and I'll say this the way I mean it. She was born in Fresno.
So Antioch's not a far
right,
stretch.
So it's not too big of a stretch. But she was born and raised in California, so we knew Boston was kind of an experiment, see how it was going to go. And I love Boston. It's the 6 months of kind of brown and gray during the October to May. That's tough to take, but she was ready to go.
Okay,
and it was fine.
So it really was fine. See, that's great. I mean, there's so many times there's a lot of sacrifice that has to be made, and but that's awesome that she wanted to be back in Cali anyway.
She's fantastic. I mean, any wild hair I've ever had, she's said, "Oh, explore it, try it out." So it's been really.
There's kids on. There's kids on.
Wow. Yeah, easy.
That reminds me of a story with a chicken and a tablecloth.
All right, so then you go ahead and do it, and that was 3 years ago now, is that?
Yeah, 3 years ago in February. So I came on and originally, and Chris was still brewing, and I was doing basically maintenance stuff around the brewery and the restaurant, waiting for the second place to open. And it was amazing how it happened that his wife happened to get the transfer as we found out that the second place really wasn't going to happen. So
I see.
So then we had maybe 2 weeks of crossover tops once he figured out he was going to be moving. So
okay,
and then I took over. So and Sean has provided an amazing resource and knowledge, and to keep me elevating my game, and then going to the brewers conferences and that sort of thing, paying attention to what the presentations there, that sort of thing.
Sure, like the Craft Brewers Conference, got that coming up next week.
Exactly like that.
I actually find it really interesting, Sean, that you went through all that schooling and that you are a master brewer, and that you've never been the brewer, I guess the everyday brewer at your place.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic that the guy that runs the show has that kind of brewing experience. You don't find that out very often. Usually the guy that runs the show doesn't know anything, and he hires a brewer who does. But you do both. I think that's pretty fascinating. You never wanted to hire someone to do what you do now so you could be in the brew house?
Sure.
You did want to?
Every day.
Okay.
Just that first 9 months.
Okay. Do you just not feel are you kind of a control guy? Like you need to be in there? I
would love to be in the brewery behind the glass, but I know the nuts and bolts of running a restaurant is being out there, and brewing would be fun and more enjoyable.
Yeah.
But because I am probably a control freak, I have to be out where the guts is.
And you know what? A restaurant is an easy business to mess up. I mean, I think a lot of people think, hey, it's running a restaurant. You serve some people some food. There's so much to it. It's an easy business. You could be doing a lot of business and still be going broke.
Gold mine.
Justice left a lot of things in his wake.
Everyone thinks I actually bury wheelbarrows of money in my backyard. I mean, really, that's what people think.
You don't?
It's really in the front yard?
It's not true?
Yeah.
Well, now you're going to have to start moving to the front yard.
These are quotes, how much land do I own down in Cancun?
Yeah.
How many Mercedes have I bought?
How many racehorses do you own?
People think it's just wheelbarrows of money in this business.
Right. And you just
Sean's laughing in the background.
Yeah.
So he actually is burying all that money.
Yeah. Sully's like, only $1 million?
I've always aspired to be like Sean, and hopefully now within the next year I can travel the world promoting canned product and stuff. I've always been trying to follow his footsteps.
Right.
And I don't even know if he ever even goes to his restaurant anymore. Every time I talk to him, he's getting off a plane, he's missing planes, he's in Paris, he's in Italy.
Listen, in Sean's defense, he rented a Kia today to get to the studio.
I went out there on Friday to go have lunch with Sean, and we went off-site. We didn't even eat at the brewery.
He's like, listen,
because he's just too famous. He can't be in his own place.
He's like, I can't afford.
Look, let's go. My big black glasses.
It's $2 burger day. I can't afford 2-1-A.
I don't even know where to start.
Hey, all right.
I'm here though. Hi.
Like I'm your boss or something.
No,
don't worry about
you
it,
can bust
Sean.
my balls all you want.
Sean, I just wanted to say that you and Stephanie are about as reliable as the
Kia you drove in on.
as the Iraqi military.
Well, let me tell you something. We are.
I know
we're all that and more.
You made it.
We would have been here earlier, but we missed. We have to be. We were in San Diego this weekend, so we were flying back this morning around 8:20, and we missed our flight. But we were there an hour beforehand. But apparently, in San Diego, you have to be there 3 hours ahead of time, which is kind of weird. It's just a crazy airport. It's like Vegas, if anybody's ever flown through Vegas.
On Sunday? Yeah, nasty.
Yeah, and
were you smoking weed on the way home?
No.
Because you got cottonmouth.
No, I was driving over 100 miles an hour, though.
But he had like the wind blowing
out the window.
No, he hasn't had a beer in 20 minutes.
I haven't.
That's why he's got cottonmouth.
It was I mean, we were in San Diego, 8 hours ago?
You guys hauled ass. He left me a message this morning. It's like 9 o'clock or something. He's like, we didn't really miss our flight, but we didn't catch our flight, and we rented a car. We'll be there. Don't worry, we're going to be there.
Yeah, it was bad.
Hey, they're pretty much on time. It's what they came in at like 6:15.
Yeah, we said we would be here actually. So
good.
You did great. Thank you guys for making the
Already
trek.
calculated time.
But more in our defense, we did call Southwest and every airline trying to get out of Long Beach, Ontario, Burbank, LAX, and we couldn't even get a
So we
flight,
rented a car one way and we're here.
Okay.
Just for the Schooners show.
All right, so
That's awesome.
Stephanie is going to be working the chat room for the rest of the night. I hope you didn't think you were going to get here and relax.
No,
we're putting
I'm
you
ready.
right to work.
So that key is pretty much a throwaway. You just like cast it away.
You know,
One-way rental.
It's a Malibu, but it could be in the IKEA.
I was trying to help you out.
No, it is the worst car in the world. I mean,
it was so bad.
The thing was shaking. We were going 100 miles an hour. But
We get above 100, it might
That'll
shake
do
a
it.
little.
You won't have the GM guys on your show.
You couldn't really make fast turns either because the whole car would just...
Well, you're on the 5, right?
For the most part.
Okay, yeah.
That's great radio.
Yeah. All right, listen, this is all fascinating and everything, but Craig's like a genius over here, and you two retards couldn't even catch a flight. So we're trying to get to the beer here. We're going to take a really quick break. We're going to finish up the history of Schooners. We're going to get ourselves up to date, and then we're going to start talking about beer with these guys, because you guys have brewed a lot of, not just your award-winning beer, but just a lot of good beer over the years. So we're going to talk about that. 888-401-BEER is the phone number. Of course, you can join us in the chat room as well. Ask all the questions you want. We'll be right back with Schooners right here on the Brewing Network.
You're listening to the Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Give booze a chance. Hey, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Everybody's talking about light ale, brown ale, lagers, there is some silver, red, green, swingers, vodka, all we are saying is give booze a chance. Bitter red wine,
You want to sing? Well, I don't know about that. A record, no. You know what I mean, a record. Right, so I'll put you on the next B-side. Macrobiotic, man.
Do you have feelings of inadequacy? Do you suffer from shyness? Do you sometimes wish you were more assertive? If you answered yes to any of these questions, ask your doctor or pharmacist about tequila. Tequila is the safe, natural way to feel better and more confident about yourself and your actions. Tequila can help ease you out of your shyness and let you tell the world that you're ready and willing to do just about anything. You'll notice the benefits of tequila almost immediately, and with a regimen of regular doses, you can overcome any obstacles that prevent you from living the life you want to live. Shyness and awkwardness will be a thing of the past, and you'll discover many talents you never knew you had. Stop hiding and start living with tequila. Tequila may not be right for everyone. Women who are pregnant or nursing should not use tequila. However, women who wouldn't mind nursing or becoming pregnant are encouraged to try it. Side effects may include dizziness, nausea, vomiting, incarceration, erotic lustfulness, loss of motor control, loss of clothing, loss of money, loss of virginity, delusions of grandeur, table dancing, headache, dehydration, dry mouth, and a desire to sing karaoke and play all-night rounds of strip poker, truth or dare, and naked twister. Warning, the consumption of alcohol may make you think you're whispering when you're not, is a major factor in dancing like a retard, may cause you to tell your friends over and over again that you're in love with them, also may cause you to think you can sing. Alcohol may lead you to believe that ex-lovers are really dying for you to telephone them at 4 in the morning. Alcohol may make you think you can logically converse with members of the opposite sex without spitting. It may create the illusion that you are tougher, smarter, faster, and better looking than most people, and it may lead you to think people are laughing with you. Alcohol may cause pregnancy, and it also may be a major factor in getting your ass kicked. So what are you waiting for? Stop hiding and start living with tequila.
Wait till you can pour it out of your own kegerator.
Yeah. I mean, your friends will look at you with awe.
And it's just hot.
It is?
It's so super hot.
The home of live beer radio. TheBrewingNetwork.com.
Because like beer,
radio shouldn't suck. You're listening to The Session.
Chasing chicks, well, we do it every day of the year. He said, now one of these days I'm gonna leave this town, and you won't find me anywhere near. But for now I keep raising hell and drinking beer. There wasn't much for a growing boy to do, except to drive around town with all of his friends on the weekends and go searching for a case of beer that wasn't free too. He used to drive around town in an old 1960 Corvair. Him and all his friends, they called themselves the BBD. But when I asked him what those three initials stood for, he said, Bartlesville beer, drink or something, that's what it means. Raise hell, drink beer, that's all there is to do around here. Keep the kicks, chasing chicks, well, we do it every day of the year. He said, now one of these days I'm gonna leave this town, and you won't find me anywhere near. But for now I keep raising hell and drinking beer. Yeah, but now I keep raising hell and drinking beer. Yeah, but now I keep raising hell and drinking beer.
You're listening to The Brewing Network.
because like beer,
radio shouldn't suck.
All right, we're back with the fellas from Schooners. We got Sean and Craig hanging out with us, and Craig's pouring us barley wine right now, which is a pretty sweet thing because they've got some aged barley wines. that's our main topic of discussion when we start talking about how to brew beer today, guys, is they're going to help us figure out how to barrel age and cask condition and prepare beers to do that and prepare barrels to do that. We're going to talk about all that kind of stuff. So 888-401-BEER is the number if you want to ask questions, or you can now join Stephanie in the chat room. She's helping you out today. Stephanie, I'm glad to have you in there. And
glad to be here.
Be nice to everybody, and everybody be nice to Steph. She does have the powers that be.
Like She-Ra.
Are you in there as JP?
No.
Is that, or do you have your own name? You're in there as JP.
I'm in there as JP.
Abuse her as you would JP.
That's where the powers are. I don't think I gave you real powers, so you have to use JP.
The power lies in me.
I just want to remind everybody that I've been in the car with Sully for 8 hours.
Yeah, I thought you...
Be nice.
I thought you smelled kind of funny.
Yeah, the first thing that got in my mind was smelly.
We've been in a Malibu for 8 hours.
Oh, that's no good. Well, Stephanie will be helping you out there in the chat room, so please get your questions to us. Let me read you some of the awards that Schooners has won over the years, because I think that's an interesting place to start. And just in 2006 alone, a gold medal at the Great American Beer Festival for your oatmeal stout. That's fantastic. I think I tried it at the GABF, and I haven't had it at the brewery. You guys, are you still serving that stout, or it's long gone?
We actually brought a bottle tonight.
Did you? Oh, that's great. So that's a gold medal winner. A bronze medal, same year, GABF last year, for your Irish stout. You guys are good at the black beers, huh?
Well, this is, like I said, every year it's something new for us, which is the great thing. This year we took medals for both our stouts. The Irish is on right now. We usually rotate between the two.
Okay.
So it just happened to be this was the year for us for stouts, yeah.
I don't know if it goes for beer, but I heard once you go black. You know what I mean?
You go get tested and wash off? Wait, sorry.
JP. What are you, Don Imus?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Let's see, what else we got? California State Fair last year. First place for red ale. First place for IPA. First place for cask-aged barley wine. That was your Old Woody. First place for oatmeal stout. Did anybody else win a first place last year at the California State Fair besides you guys?
Oh, yeah, there's quite a few.
Good job. World Beer Cup silver medal for the cask-aged barley wine. Again, the Old Woody. That was your 2004 cask-aged.
And we brought that tonight.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Right. We just poured the 2002 regular Old Diablo. That's the one that won the Tornado.
That's this one here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we have the 2004 Old Diablo Waiting in the Wings, or Old Woody Waiting in the Wings.
Old Woody.
Wow. I'm no mathematician, but that's like 8 years old, right?
Is
That's a long time. That's amazing. Let's see. World Beer Cup silver medal for the 2004. Wow, is that your most award-winning beer ever, the 2004 Old Woody?
The cask-conditioned barley wine is our most. We won for both the 2002 cask condition and the 2004.
Okay.
2003 was a bit of an anomaly.
Who is that? Who's doing all that?
That was me.
Rookie.
Solely
noob.
Goddamn rookie.
Pushed him. Blame it on me. It's all right.
I like how Sean, that O'Sullivan just threw his buddy Sean right under the bus. I asked who does it, and Sean points both fingers at the guy who's moving the microphone.
I deserve it right now after not showing up on time and retaining Stephanie from the chat room.
Yeah. In 2005, you guys got a bronze at the GABF.
Is this all from memory?
Tornado.
Hey, can we taste this beer right now, or you want
Go
to keep
ahead.
reading?
Taste it. Do your tasting while I'm reading,
I don't need
so
your
we don't have
permission.
to listen to you drink it. California State Fair, you did great.
Pale ale.
First place, couple second places last year too. Guys have been winning since 2001. It looks like is the first ones you have listed here at the California State Fair.
That's when we opened.
Wow, this is really nice.
Fantastic. You guys have been doing really well since then.
Smooth.
All right, so that's what I want to talk about, and we'll talk about this beer that we're drinking too. I want to know do you guys have like a primary style of beer that you brew at the place now, or is it just kind of whatever you're feeling like?
Like a house ale kind of thing?
You know?
No, I think we do a variety. I don't think we focus on one thing.
You really just try to mix it up a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have our 5 house styles, but then we do have these specialties that we rotate throughout the year. And we're actually fortunate. We get to do a couple lagers a year as well.
You do. That was my next question. So you do get a couple lagers in there.
We have a single lager tank, so we can do 2 or 3. We could do more. We actually put the barley wine into the lager tank for a while as well to help that age.
Okay. And what are the other lagers that you do? What kind of things you like to do?
We've done the Munich Dunkel, the Märzen / Oktoberfest.
Sure.
We've done the Maibach as well in the past. And
Very nice.
The California lager is sitting in the tank right now.
Okay. The last commercially brewed Maibach I had, American craft brewed Maibach, Doc, it was shit. It wasn't Schooners. I'm going to say that.
Yeah,
right now.
I haven't had a lot of good ones.
Was it a TBN?
That's a tough beer to commercially brewed. Commercially, Mr. Imus.
Something commercially brewed.
It's a tough beer.
Was
to brew.
it the TBN box? You didn't like the TBN box?
I think.
Is that what you're getting?
Oh, is that what he was asking?
Yeah.
What did you think I said?
You didn't lager the TBN box, so it doesn't even fit.
Oh, so I get off on a technicality.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Exactly.
You have a really deep
You
voice.
rolled out from underneath that bus.
That was nice. Thought of that one quick, too. Nice. What are you going to brew for us this year, Sully? You know,
I don't know yet.
He's going to throw some shit in a barrel and
after
call it TBN.
Watermelon, pale ale. I'm going to go take a nap.
The Scrapins. Rambo.
I haven't thought about that yet.
Beer suicide.
But you know, Justin, I'm going to put some time and energy into that. I should have been thinking about it for the last 9 hours.
I know. You had a long drive up here.
What were you thinking about that last 9 hours?
I was thinking about you, Doc.
Ooh. Couldn't wait to get here.
On my lap.
All right.
Whoa.
All right.
Whoa.
You know what? I haven't been into Malibu in a while.
Everybody eventually gets their start in a Malibu.
So everybody talks about how they, the commercial brewers, small guys, how they can't do lagers because of the tank space. But you guys do a lot of barley wines too, and that's even more space, isn't it? Keeping that stuff around. I mean, I guess you get it out of. You don't have to put it in a clarifying tank. You don't have to use up a fermenter for so long. You can put it somewhere else. But it's still inventory that's sitting around for a long time before you get to sell it, right? Is that a tough thing for you guys to do?
That's the big thing about lagers or any other beer that you have to age. It's just sitting on that inventory. Especially we're in retail space, being a brew pub. We're not sitting in a warehouse where we can add more fermenters or that sort of thing. So we're paying retail space prices for the square footage of the brewery. So that's at a premium. So it is really nice that we could get that one tank in there that we can do our lagers or the barley wine as well.
Okay.
But we get our barley wine on pretty quickly and start selling it. But we do usually after 3 months or so, we'll keg the rest of it out, and we'll be sitting on 5 to 8 kegs of it, and then we'll do various processes to that.
Okay. But still 3 months sitting in that primary.
Well, it's in the primary probably for 3 weeks or so through various aging, and then it goes into the lager tank for a little bit more time. So we're probably sitting on it for 2 to 3 months before we start serving it.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
It'd be nice if you could sit on it for a year. That would be ideal. Then it really smoothens up. It starts to come together about that point. And I think the 2002 was the original that was really an eye-opening experience. It started off way too sweet, mouth-coating sweetness, and all of a sudden, right at about the 3-year mark, I think it's about the 3-year mark?
No, it's
2 year.
2.5.
The 2.5 year mark. It went within 3 months from, oh my God, I couldn't drink more than a couple sips of this to, wow. The sugar just kind of faded into the background and became part of the complexity.
Okay.
Instead of being this mouth-coating experience, it was
Put it on
just
your
amazing.
pancakes kind of thing.
Right, exactly. It was really amazing, and that really kind of gave us confidence to go forward with some of the aging and stuff.
Well, it's what you're drinking now is very similar to what it was a couple of years ago. I mean, I think once it gets to that point, it stays there.
Okay.
But like the 01, our first barley wine, it just was very cloying. I didn't care for it. We didn't sit on it. We didn't save any, and we just kind of sold it all out. And the 02 came along. We sold it. We ended up sitting on about 4 or 5 kegs of it, and just kind of forgot about it. And 2 years later, it was like, what's this?
I see. And then you're saying it kind of, once it reaches its peak, it kind of hangs out right there, not a whole lot of other change?
Not major changes.
Okay.
Yeah. It changes, whether, just like with a fine wine, whether there's a peak and then a slow decrease
fade
after that. Yeah. But knowing where that peak is, I mean, that's a tough thing to call.
Yeah, that is a tough part. Is that do you guys know because you found the peak a couple of times, or is that just luck? You give it a try and you say, hey, that's great.
I think it depends on the sugar balance and the bitterness, but for the barley wines we've done, it's been about 2.5 years.
Okay. All right, let me back up just for a second, because now we've kind of dove right into aging beers, so let me kind of make sure that we start on the right foot. I want to know if there's any certain preparations that you guys make for a beer that you're going to sit on for a while. You make a barley wine, your intention is to hopefully sit on it for a little while. Are there things that you do to make sure? Do you want to make sure it is above a certain gravity? Do you want to make sure it has any certain characteristics? I want to know if you really prep for the age process.
You kind of look for high gravity beers that do the aging, but if you know it's a beer you're going to be sitting on, we're paranoid about sanitation. I can't say enough about sanitation to begin with, but we're paranoid about sanitation as it is in the brewery. But if you know it's going to be a barley wine you're going to be sitting on for the next 3 to 4 years, it's nerve-wracking. You're sitting there, just everything you touch is sprayed with alcohol or quaternary ammonia. You just know that
hold your breath while you're in there.
Right, a bug gets into that keg or into your tank and you've ruined the whole batch. And whether that happened, our 2003 had some issues with it. We're not sure why, but who knows? To air a little dirty laundry there, but the reason we skipped 2002 and went to 2004, 2003 just didn't age as well as the other ones. The other ones have brightened up. If you look at the glasses here, they're bright.
They really
2004 was bright as well. 2003 was hazy and it had issues with it. So
I think that's actually the brightest barley wine I've ever seen in my life. I think
our experience is the bright barley wines from us have been phenomenal, and if they retain their haze past 6 months or so, then we question it.
Something's hanging out in there. No filtration for this beer anywhere in the process?
No. And that's the other thing. If we know we're going to age it, it's unfiltered.
Okay.
So we keep it unfiltered. It
is as clear as it gets.
Yeah.
It's pretty bright.
Yeah. That's very nice.
So we've aged our barley wines and our Scotch ales, and we've also aged in the barrel a couple of IPAs as well.
You have
the higher alcohol.
Okay.
So do you go through sort of so you basically have the beer in a tank and then you put it into a keg eventually because you don't want to tie up a tank that long. This is what we do. We basically for 3 weeks, like what you do, is have it in the fermenter and then we transfer to a serving tank, kind of hold it there, but then we just basically keg the whole thing off. And I agree with you, and I was kind of curious, do you go through some sort of extra cleaning with your kegs?
Yeah.
Because we will use other breweries and their keg washing equipment to clean our kegs, and you kind of want to give them that extra juice, when it comes time for it. And I think some of the barley wines that we've had on in the past have kind of suffered maybe from the, being in the keg. Maybe even oxygen, too much oxygen. Maybe we didn't get all the oxygen out. So we're sort of starting to do more of a regimen of making sure the kegs are clean, really super clean. And so I was kind of curious what your thoughts were on that.
What's super clean? Define super clean.
11 clean.
11 clean. Well, it's the fact that you brought this up is definitely relates a lot to home for us. The 06 barley wine that we did last year, Craig and I said, what happened in the 03? It sits there in the kegs. James Renfro, who opened up Potrero Brewing Company, gave me one of the greatest ideas in the brewing industry. He put his serving tanks on legs that were about 30 inches high, and you can store underneath them. So
just for space.
You cannot put a keg on top of a serving tank, but you can definitely slide underneath it.
Yeah.
So it gave us all this room underneath our serving tanks for not only cold kegs to fill for people that want kegs and the kegerators, but all this barley wine that we have to sit on, and like you said, sit on as inventory and age it. So finally this last year, we decided to sit there and go, man, we're going in these kegs, sitting on them for 2, 3, 4 years, who knows? We don't know what the hell these kegs look like inside.
Yeah.
We clean them, but come on.
Yeah.
You still don't know what it looks like inside.
How could you know? Yeah, exactly.
So, Craig is ripping apart these kegs now, and ripping the stems out, which if anybody does that is nothing but bloody knuckle work.
Yeah.
And we inspect it, and if it isn't absolutely spotless, we're hitting it with just 200 degree with caustic and acid to make sure the stainless in this looks brand new. And it was the 06 barley wine was the first time every keg that barley wine went in was eye inspecting. Spotless.
See, I think homebrewers can do that same thing. Obviously,
with Cornies, definitely.
Because I know a lot of homebrewers who will take apart their cornies every single time they keg. I'm not that guy. I do though. I run some homebrewer caustic through it. I run PBW through it. I make sure that they are clean, but I don't take those things apart every time. But I guess maybe it'd be a good thing to say for those of you who don't do it every time like me, if you're gonna put a beer in there that's gonna sit around for a couple of years, do every single thing that you possibly could.
Plus, I'd also say make sure you fill up that keg with whatever solution you're going to pull out. So it is 100% filled with liquid, and then when you put that CO2 in, you're completely displacing liquid with CO2, so there's no oxygen in it.
Okay, great. That's a fantastic idea.
I think the cornies for me are easier to get oxygen free, well, being 5 gallons as well. You just fill it up and then push it all without CO2. All out with CO2.
Yeah.
And you have no oxidation.
Now, I'm glad you say that, because that's the other thing I wanted to ask you, because you're talking about how important it is to be clean, but bugs aren't the only thing we're worried about when stuff's hanging around for a long time. You're worried. You have a completely closed system, so you're probably not too worried about light like a homebrewer might be if their carboy is uncovered or something.
Cover that carboy.
But cover the carboy, so keep the light out of it, because light struck is something that isn't going to show up immediately, but that can show up later. We've talked about that on the show a lot. And then the other thing is any sort of oxidation after fermentation has begun can really show up much later in the process. So, is that easier for you guys because you're on a fully closed system, or do you take extra precautions
not when you're filling an oak cask.
Okay, so there you go. You got to fill up a barrel with this stuff.
Also when you're talking about the clover leaf, what's the technical
triclover?
The triclover, the fittings. There's always dead space in there, and I actually think it's easier on some of the homebrewing systems too if you're cognizant of the oxygen being there, trying to get it out. I positive displace all of my homebrewing equipment so I have pure CO2 environment. So when I have my carboy, it is all iodine sanitation solution. Then I positive pressure that out with CO2. So I have a pure CO2 environment. So when I'm transferring into that carboy from the primary, I'm not getting any oxygen carryover. And I leave that last inch or two in the primary, so I don't have that interface going into my secondary as well. And I've been pretty successful, now that I've done it on a professional system, going back and doing the kind of pilot brews on a homebrew system and eliminating all that oxygen so I don't have that cidery taste or any of the cardboard showing up.
The longer these beers have to be held and laid down, the more important all this becomes.
Yeah.
If it's a fresh beer, it's not, you still got to worry about it, but not anything like if you're going to lay a beer down for 2 years.
Right.
Definitely.
I only just started
brewing good beer.
No. Sorry. No, it's even worse than that. I only just started making sure that my kegs were purged with CO2 and that I had that kind of a layer as I filled them up. I still haven't brewed good beer, so I don't know if it did any good. But I'll tell you later, But I did start doing that same thing. That's great advice to just make sure everything is purged like that.
Can I just say this is a really good barley wine we're drinking?
It really
awesome.
is.
Thanks. It's
fantastic.
Well, it was good enough for Tornado 2 years ago, that's for sure.
Yeah, and that's a tough barley wine fest. You're getting some world-class, maybe the world-class barley wines.
More barley wines in one place than anywhere else.
Right. As far as I know, it's the biggest barley wine festival in the world.
Probably by a long way.
Yeah.
It's bigger than the JBF, even the increase there. So.
JP loves it, and he loves to go there. And he
every day of my life.
Loves Tornado. That's his middle name.
The Barley Wine Fest is the only time I'll accept horrible service at Tornado.
Because it's just that good.
Yeah.
Here's a question that came through from the listeners. Kind of a complicated question, but we could maybe cover it as generally as possible. The person says, I don't know a whole lot about what happens when beers are being aged. What goes on during the process that a beer is hanging out for a while? Do you know kind of the chemical? You mapped the G-man. The G-man.
The G-man.
That's how the G-man now?
How about another
That's how
barley
good
wine?
I am. Yeah.
That's too much barley wine for
you.
You
mapped something.
You never told me you mapped the G-man.
The G-man.
I-man?
G-man.
I've mapped the G-spot.
Yeah. I've not mapped that yet. Good for you, JP.
What is that?
Do you, any ideas about what happens during the whole aging process?
In all honesty, my technical expertise doesn't fall to that. I didn't do the educational. I think that falls more into educational aspect. I noticed that the bitterness certainly falls away. We start to pull up some darker sediments. I don't know if those are tannins or those sorts of things, because you get the tannins with the beer as well. And it seems to integrate a lot better. I would defer to Sully and Sean for
Sully doesn't
chemical
know.
analysis.
No, I think. I
Sully
think,
will call Jess and find out because he has no idea.
I think. Well, what happens is exactly what you're talking about. The bitterness sort of drops out. The IBUs, dissolved bittering units, drop out, and sort of the whole beer becomes wrapped around the malt, and the malt becomes a little bit more pronounced. You said something earlier which I thought was interesting, and I don't know
Erroneous?
if I agree with it. No, you made a mention that you said the sweetness of the beer dropped out. Of the barley wine you aged.
Well, what I meant was the mouth.
So I was interested in what you're doing in your brewery.
Because mine doesn't.
He was talking about the cloying sweetness.
Okay. Well, that's what I was interested in. Like,
it wasn't balanced well. We've talked about before with big beers like this, how you really have to start out with a lot of IBUs.
Yes.
100 or 120, which is crazy, but that's the first thing that drops out. It starts to come down.
Well, if I may suggest
but the
that
sweetness dropped out.
I may have said that. If I could preface that now, I'd say the character of the sugar changed. How's that?
The molecules break down, right? The sugar molecules.
Well, it changed from the sweet, syrupy mouth coating effect to a more complex sugar. The sugar's still there, obviously, but
it's not the first thing on.
I know what you're talking. Anybody who's ever had, folks, you guys know what he's talking about, because if you've ever had a barley wine when it's young and it is really sweet, and then you've had it a little later and it's still sweet, but that sweetness is more of like a grape or a raisiny flavor, things like that. Like, I think that's what you're getting at, and we've all, I think, experienced that, where it's not that it doesn't it's not that you're not tasting sugars, it's that the sugars, their characteristics are completely different.
Right. And a young barley wine's going to be like that. It's also going to be very hoppy. Almost sharp hoppy.
Yeah, I want to talk about, because you said that a barley wine, if we brew one, should be up in the 120 IBUs.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Have you ever? I mean, a case in point, Sierra Nevada. Every time they release their barley wine, their Bigfoot in
their double IPA.
Is that what you call it? You should actually. It's so bitter. Yeah. In February, it's almost undrinkable
because of how bitter.
Because how bitter it is, and that beer is really meant to be laid down. Kind of what Doc was just talking about for a couple years.
I didn't know that. I mean, I know they have a big sweetness. I didn't think about countering that so much.
You have to put them in the beginning, because in 2 years it's not going to be there, so you got to overcompensate for it. So as that's coming down and when the sugars start to mellow out, you kind of want it all to kind of hit at the same point.
Yeah.
I think we're also in the realm of just everyone's own subjectiveness of what the beer should be.
Right.
What happens when a barley wine age is, it's the main word I think is integration.
Okay.
It's integration. All the parts of the whole integrate,
really melding together.
You can try to go in the chemistry, the biology, whatever's going on. It's the integration of everything coming together.
Okay.
Whether it's 120 BUs or 80 BUs, I think for the style, I kind of disagree with the style guidelines. I think the style guidelines are maybe like 40 to 65.
Right.
I think 120, that's high, but in an ideal world, 120 doesn't mean much when you're in a 30 Plato or 26 Plato beer, because you lose so much efficiency.
Yeah,
the higher the gravity of the boil, your efficiency for your hops just drops off to such a low point.
Plus the perceived bitterness isn't going to be there, because you have so much malt in the backbone that you got to really balance that beer out.
120 maybe for Sean or someone else. I mean, our barley wine, we're up in the 80 to 100 range, and whether that works for us or anybody else, 120, it's so off the scale that it's like you just got to go and explore it.
Sure.
You just got to explore it.
Do you guys have a preferred bittering hop that you like to use, Magnum or anything like that? Any big alphas to get there?
We like the low cohumulone.
You do?
Magnum, Horizon, for low harshness. We're not, we like you said, the balance aspect of it. So we're not into the mouth puckering bitterness.
Yeah, okay.
We want to find some malt to balance.
When do you make your barley wine, and when do you serve it?
Oh, that's a great
We brew
question.
it. We usually brew it in September.
Right.
And we try to get on for the holidays by Thanksgiving and serve it for about 2 months. And then we keg the rest up, slide it under those Renfro tanks, and just sit on it.
But we also
usually we have a 5, 10, 31 gallon style oak cask.
Yeah.
That's when we start transferring to those to sit on for 6 6 months to 1 year.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a bit too.
So yeah, we usually brew it around September, get it on by November, so it's about 3 months old. We serve maybe half it, and then we sit on it, and then we try to get one more release during the year, maybe June. Obviously in Antioch, July, August, when it's 110 degrees outside, I don't know how barley wine feels. But, usually before the hottest months in Antioch, we try to get it on tap one more time.
You do, okay.
And then throughout the year, when Craig and I have extra time, we'll try to bottle some, whether it's the standard Old Diablo, which is our barley wine, or Old Woody, which is our cask mission. We'll try to do several bottlings through the year also.
Okay.
What are we drinking now?
This
2004.
2004 Old Woody.
So this is the one that won all the awards. Funny story about this that you guys were telling me when you came in. You guys don't even have this beer anymore. You had to go somewhere else so that you could bring us a sample.
That's right. We had to go, thank you, Steve. We had to go and ask a regular to bring us a bottle back from his inventory.
Did he shake you down? You're like, well, okay.
He brought his growlers in and said, fill them all up and I'll bring you one 22-ounce bottle.
Oh, what a dick.
No.
Well, I can see why. It's good.
Steve knows, he knows a good barley wine. Obviously, every time we put 2, 3, 4 cases out for sale, these bombers, he comes in every day and buys them, and we put a limit on 2 per person, and he'd come in with extra people and start buying it. So, he's a smart guy. I mean, this stuff will age for years. So, we realized that, God, we haven't even been sitting on this any of ourselves. Here we are, the brewers, and we're not even putting any in our own home fridge to sit on.
Yeah.
And when they win the medals, we don't even realize we don't even have any of this stuff left.
Well, so we have the partials in the back. You're like,
the bad fills and stuff. But, I knew Steve had a lot of this, and, I called him up and said, hey, going on this radio show, and they would love some 04 Woody, and he's all, what label front do you want? We have these different labels we do. He's got everything. He's got everything. So
it's so funny.
He brought us down. We haven't had this in a long time, so it's very special.
I called Sean today, and he said, should we bring anything? Yeah, I said, well, we're going to be talking barley wines.
We'll talk about your barley wine. Bring some.
And I'm sure now that I know the story that he hung up the phone and speed dialed. Oh, shit, where am I going to get this guy?
He had to call the whole greater Antioch area.
Right. This one is really so complex. It's amazing. It reminds me more, not because it's harsh, because it's not at all, but it reminds me more of like a bourbon or a whiskey. The different flavors.
The barrel. Yeah, the barrel was pre-soaked with Scotch.
It was, okay.
Whiskey. Before we put the barley wine in.
Okay.
And
then you get the Scotch?
It's just the house Scotch.
We refuse to name
it around.
For 2 weeks, Craig and I take turns rolling the cask around the brewery. We kind of
playing circus elephant on top of it.
We tried putting hamsters in it. At first it worked, but then they don't roll no more after a couple days. So we for about 2 weeks we just put the whiskey in, and literally it's just we just have fun with it. And then depending on how old the cask is getting, we start putting chips in it, oak chips, just to help with the oak. Because I do think it helps with the smoothing.
Were they new barrels when you got them?
They are. They're new. They're not bourbon, Jack Daniels. They're not. They're brand new. They're just brand new, raw. They're not.
American or French oak?
American.
Ooh.
And then you guys
that's a strong flavor.
Hang on one second. I have a quick question for you. Cause let's dive right into barrels here. But you had talked about putting your barley wine in a keg and then storing it first before we get to barrels. Do you carbonate it when you're aging it in a keg? So you take it out of the lagering tank, do you carbonate or do you keep it flat while it's aging in the keg?
It's actually carbonated. Because we take it out of the serving tank and put it into the keg. So it is carbonated.
It is carbonated. So, and is that kind of in general, is that a preferred way to age beer, or do you think it matters?
I couldn't tell you that. Do you have a preference?
I think, my thinking on it, I've always carbonated the beer and then aged it, is that you're sort of, you're removing any oxygen that's in the beer. If you bring over, still beer, I guess there could be some possibility of having some dissolved O2 in there.
Okay.
And if it's carbonated, it's going to be,
maybe a better way to do it.
I like the idea of having a positive pressure so nothing can get into that keg if it pulls a vacuum, and also having it anaerobic conditions, like he said, having the CO2.
It is a bit of a trade-off, and those are real good reasons to have this trade-off. carbonated beer is harder to transfer.
No, but what I was thinking
when you're going from one place to the next, you're gonna have some issues with foaming, things like that.
Sure.
But if you, as long as you know that's coming, it's a good trade-off because you want to have that positive pressure. You want to just purge everything out of there, and if you're going to be storing this for a while, that's a big positive trade-off.
So, because I was thinking of that as a homebrewer, because here's what I'd be doing, Doc. I'd go from my carboy to a corny. And then I'd age it in that corny for however long I was going to age it. Would I carbonate that while I was aging it, or would I just purge it with CO2 and let it sit?
If it's not coming out of that carboy again, or out of that corny again, I would just carbonate it.
You could do it right then.
Yeah.
But if I was going to transfer again or go to a barrel or something, then don't carbonate it.
You'd flush it, right? Flush the headspace.
Sure.
It's tough.
When you go into a barrel, it's really tough to go with carbonated product. I actually try to decarbonate it. The kegs, you'll hook it up and try to flatten it out a bit, because once it hits that wood, there's so many nucleating sites, it just foams
everywhere.
Plus, you're typically not transferring under pressure, and a barrel is not a pressure vessel.
Yeah.
But getting back to what you were talking about, Justin, I mean, I don't see what would be wrong, and why not add a little bit of yeast or a little bit of sugar to your still beer, and that's going to certainly expunge any oxygen in the vessel as well. So
if you were going to cast
kind of the trade-off, but it's a way to sort of scavenge oxygen out of the vessel as well, whether it's in a keg or not.
Yeah. So. Yeah, that's because especially if it's going to sit around for a couple of years, then that might be.
If it's going to be in the corny, go ahead and carbonate it. But if you're going to transfer it, you're going to have some issues. It's mostly the issue with transferring.
Yeah, of course.
I could just see pumping into some wood barrel and it's just everywhere.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
the first time I did it,
I just
purged the headspace.
Right. I just pumped some wood this morning, JP.
Yeah, you did. I want to talk to you about that. I need my blanket back.
Okay, and then one more a question that came through from
smells funny.
It's scratchy now.
Are you making paper mache?
Listeners wanted to know before we move on to barrels here, because we were talking about hops. They want to know how you choose your hop alpha acids. What are the two different units? There's bittering units, and there's, what's the GU? What does GU stand for?
Gravity units.
Gravity units.
You said units.
Are you talking about GU to BU ratio?
The ratio, exactly. So they say, how do you choose hops by alpha acid based on the BU to GU ratio?
That's not how I choose them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess that was their question.
I don't even know what that is.
Does it not mean anything?
It has to do with your bittering units to your gravity units, but when you're talking big beers like this, you're having a diminishing return on how much utilization you're going to get. So you really got to pump that up, because the Plato is so high on these things that you're just not going to get the utilization. On top of that, you're going to be aging this a long time, and your hops are going to be dropping off. Now, they were talking about using high alpha hops, but with a low cohumulone level.
Barley wine.
Sure. And it's the barley I'm talking.
Low barley wine level.
So it's a smoother high alpha hop.
That was Doc's BW to...
so you're saying is you want to pump your junk
level.
Yeah. Pump the junk.
Pump your junk.
So when you're really boosting it up with a lot of hops like that, you also kind of want to keep the amount of vegetable matter out of it as much as you can. So when you're trying to get the alpha acids up, you don't want to be pumping in a lot of low alpha acid hops, because you're going to get a lot of tannins from all these from the the vegetable matter that's coming through.
Just from the hops even. Okay. So if you use a BU to GU ratio, say for your pale ale, it's not going to work for your barley wine because of the diminishing return you're talking about.
I would think, because the pale ale, it's gone in 2 months.
Yeah.
It's a pretty fresh beer. You want to drink pretty fresh. You're with a big barley wine, you're playing compensation here.
Okay.
So also, like driving a Hummer.
We also boil
very far.
We boil our high gravity beers longer as well to try to get more utilization out of those.
Really?
hops.
So longer than, say, 90 minutes?
2 hours for the barley wine. We do our alpha for 90 minutes.
Really?
Our imperial.
Yeah, but aren't you doing that more to concentrate the sugars to get a higher gravity as well?
I see it as both effects. So
well,
I'm going to make a T-shirt for the Jameel Show. It's going to say the Jameel Show on the front, and on the back it's
we have such a low volume of barley wine. I guess if I wanted to stay in there for 6 to 12 hours, I could get a lot more.
We just boil for an hour and a half, but I could see the benefits of boiling longer. I mean, everybody does things differently. That's what the beauty of it. I mean, and the proof is in the pudding. This beer is phenomenal.
Whatever they're doing, it's working.
I mean, I've only come in third place at the Tornado. So
that sucks.
I can't.
Well, I think the best part about it, just like brewing in general, is you gotta try it and keep doing it. You know, barley wine, it comes out different, I would imagine, all the time. I actually haven't ever made one, but I mean, it ages for so long and so many weird things go on that it's hard to build in like a ratio, I would think, or a formula, you know, every time. It's just you do it and this is what happens, and over time you learn how much hops to add and what kind of hops and all that kind of stuff.
Along that vein, though, it's interesting that you mentioned that, because by the time the 2002 had turned into something we thought was amazing, we'd already brewed the 2004 and changed the recipe.
Oh, is that right? And then you're like, oh, shit.
But it turned out to be great too. So, but in a different way. So
one of the best ways that I found to appreciate barley wine is when you're doing a vertical flight.
Yeah.
You're in the same barley wine year, it has several different years, and it's just amazing the difference.
Yeah. In fact, I don't think that stands for just barley wines. I love it when people have the vertical flights of the beers that they've done over the years, especially if it's been the same recipe.
Except like a Hefeweizen.
It's such except for that I've never done a vertical Hefe flight.
Yeah, I've got this 8-year-old Hefe. It's coming around.
I'll try this. I still got the cousin Hef in my fridge.
Uh-oh.
I told, one of my roommates that he was going to have to drink the cousin Hefe that was sent to us.
Okay.
Either that or you're going to drink it at Burning Man.
Oh. Well, you're going to be there too.
So maybe I'll drink it at Burning Man.
Yeah, I'll roofie you. I won't even tell you which one it is.
Okay.
Why am I melting?
Heads up, everybody, we're going to take a break till we get to barrels, so hang in there, but we are going to dive right into those, so don't worry about it.
Dive into the barrel.
Someone wants to know if your beer is distributed elsewhere. Is it only local? Can we only get it at Schooners?
It's only in the Bay Area. We have I think we're up to about 12 tap accounts out in the Bay Area, but
no bottles, though.
No bottles. The only bottling we do is for sale at the restaurant, the barley wines, and then for competition.
Okay.
That's why when, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but why when we open these bottles, it's not a professional bottler. We're like, we certainly hope this tastes good.
Because it's you.
It's us. We're sitting there bottling each one by hand.
Well, I'm looking at the crusties around the top of the barrel.
That's how you know it's good.
Yeah.
Because they,
it's a hand capped thing.
What, Sully?
I wasn't going to say anything.
Since when?
How about this quick question before we go to break, so I can clear our question? Well, I'm not clear. No, I got barrel questions in front of me, but
yeah, you do.
Well,
someone wanted to know, for a home brewer, can you make a barley wine that only needs a few months of aging and still have it taste well after a few months? And this is a question right after my own heart.
Sure. You make a small beer out of that beer.
You can't make a big original sort of like to style barley wine and have it taste good soon.
I think it'll taste good. It won't taste as amazing as it will.
Okay.
There's time gives it an integration where, you know, we've brewed some really nice barley wines. I'm like, wow, this is pretty good. But over time, it kind of comes together where you're not sure where the sugar begins and the bitterness starts.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. It's like we brew a barley wine at the 2-1A, and we
lowered the boom.
Lowered the boom.
I'm gonna lower my boom
at 562 2nd Street.
It's 563. Get it right. Oh. So anyway, and we brew it to be consumed that February for Strong Beer Month, the 21st Amendment with Magnolia Pub and Brewery.
So what's the trick?
So the idea is that we don't go big on the hops.
Don't expect much.
We kind of lower the malt down, but you're not going to have this integration and complexity that exists with the beer that we're having right now from Schooners that's been aging for a number of years. But yeah, you can make a beer that's a barley wine.
So it can have the sweet, malty, high alcohol characteristics,
but it's not going to have that kind of vinous or vinous
Venus
quality that's that in these sort of port-like tones that we're getting right now from the Schooners beers.
Yeah.
But you can still make a beer like that. Sure.
Okay. So maybe Doc was right then when he said,
be decent. It
don't
just,
expect
it won't be. It'll be decent, but it just won't be that magical thing that just turned.
Yeah.
A year and a half.
You can tell these beers have been well aged and they're great. But we've all had barley wines that are fairly fresh and new, and they're fine.
And most barley wines, it's the last bottle that tastes the best.
I wonder why.
We have a customer, Jim Rossi. He would make 10 gallons of barley wine and he'd drink it in 3 weeks.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I mean,
was he conscious?
Yeah. He likes that flavor, that kind of harsh, kind of unbound. He loves it.
Sure.
Yeah.
And he's a freaky dude.
He's a freaky
hops,
dude.
Let's face it.
Yeah.
You all know Rossi. He's done a couple shows.
It just depends on what you like and what your palate is all about, and some people like that kind of young thing.
Bang.
Sean?
I do.
Yeah. Of course you do.
Sean loves the young thing.
Yeah. Why is my hand in the air right now?
Did somebody
where's
say
the
other hand?
Where's the other one? Yeah. Stephanie, my wheelchair's stuck.
Oh, jeez. Oh, Steph, help me.
Did somebody say young thing? Thank you.
Is it break time?
All right, barrel aging coming up. Don't worry, everybody. We've got a great lineup of questions for these guys. We're going to find out how to prep the barrel, what kind of barrels to use, what you got to do to it, and how to get that beer tasting good.
Bung holes.
We're going to talk bung holes. We'll be right back. Hang in there.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. The Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
It was 1977, born a bundle straight from heaven. Daddy went for donuts, he never would bring. Mama was a martyr, never blessed with a daughter. She wiped up his water with a fake diamond ring. Was petty for grade school, he's more made for trade school, and he carved up his lunchbox into plastic grenades. Kept the other kids flinching every day in detention. He could rebuild an engine by the fifth fucking grade. But his high school homework's way too hard. Algebra's invented by retard, don't need it. Tell the bleeding heart bitches in the English class, catch her in the rye, catches in the ass, I don't need it anymore. I'm going off to fight the Iraqi war. Hey, Mr. Bin Laden, don't you blow up no more buildings. I ain't got time to build them, we gotta clothe and take support. Hey, Mr. Bin Laden, you better grab hold of your children. He's a Green Beret and a Chevrolet with a missile made by Ford. He was tired, took a Federal, and he thought he shot an Iraqi. And the bullet, as it left his gun, landed in his friend. He said, Sergeant, really sorry, but I thought he was Iraqi. You can take my gun, but leave my lungs, I'll scream it once again. Hey, Mr. Bin Laden, don't you blow up no more buildings. I ain't got time to build them, I gotta clothe and take support. Hey, Mr. Bin Laden, you better grab hold of your children. The Green Beret and a Chevrolet with a missile made by Ford. He's a Green Beret and a Chevrolet with a missile made by Ford.
Wait till you can pour it out of your own kegerator.
I mean, your friends will look at you with awe.
And it's just hot.
It is?
It's so super hot.
The home of live beer radio. TheBrewingNetwork.com.
Because like beer,
Radio shouldn't suck. You're listening to The Session.
Whenever life gets you down, keeps you wearing a frown, and the gravy train has left you behind. And when you're all out of hope, down at the end of your rope, and nobody's there to throw you a line. If you ever get so low that you don't know which way to go, come on and take a walk in my shoes. Never worry about a thing, got the world on a string, 'cause I've got the cure for all of my blues. I take a look at my enormous penis, and my troubles start melting away. I take a look at my enormous penis, and the happy times are coming to stay. I gotta sing and I dance when I glance in my pants, and the feeling's like a sunshiny day. I take a look at my enormous penis, and everything is going my way.
bumps over there. Put your fast part for Shoo-ba-doo-wah. Penis up and everybody! Take a look at my enormous penis. And my troubles start melting away. Take a look at my enormous penis. And the happy times are coming to stay. Yeah, I got great big amounts in the place where it counts. And the feeling's like a sunshiny day. I take a look at my enormous penis. And everything is going my way. My cows are monsters. Everything is going my way. My meat is burner. Everything is going my way.
Size doesn't matter.
Everything is going my way.
Out of Brewcast. This is the Brewing Network.
All right, folks. We're back with Schooners. We'll start talking about barrel aging beers. How do you prep those barrels? How do you make a good barrel aged beer? All that stuff. 888-401-BEER is the phone number. It's Sean and Craig hanging out with us from Schooners. You can also join Stephanie. She's in the chat room right now. And everybody be nice. I know what happens. You all think you're funny when you get drunk and you start saying, is it okay to say this? And can we say that? And can we... Well, guess what? No, you can't. It's all right if you drop the occasional F-bomb. That's all in good fun. But new people come into that chat room and they see you guys saying F this and tit that and everything else, and they get a little discouraged. So even though it's kind of funny to the rest of us, you know, everybody be cool and hang out in there and be nice to the new people because they're not as accustomed to the chat culture as Daniela was. So you got to give them time to get used to all of you, all right? Don't be that guy who just wants to test all the waters and do everything else, all right? Be cool, or I'll just have them block everybody because I don't care. But we're happy to have you guys participating in there and asking questions, because that's the point of the chat room, and hanging out and having a good time, all right? So just join the chat. If you're new, if you're old, we don't care. Hang out with us. 888-401-BEER to ask any questions and anything else that you guys want to do. Okay, so everybody is really interested in barrel aging, and there's a lot of buzz going on about it right now. It's kind of the new thing. If double IPAs were the new thing a couple of years ago, barrel aging is the new thing now, you know. So I want to start from the beginning, and we started to talk about it already, Sean, when Doc was asking you guys what kind of barrels and stuff. You already said that you guys use brand new barrels. You don't go for like an old Jack Daniel's barrel or something.
That's correct.
So you like to do that. And then the other thing that you started to mention is that you'll then self-treat your barrels for whatever you wanted. So if you did want a bourbon flavor or something like that, you'll take a brand new barrel. You said American?
Yes.
Oak is what you'll use. And why? Is there a reason American oak instead of French?
No.
It's cheaper.
It was the cheapest on the online magazine.
Hey, that's fair enough.
I know. It's got a lot stronger flavor.
It does. Okay.
But as with anything, it fades. We found that by the third, by the third batch of beer we put in, we had very little detectable oak character.
So,
is that right?
Literally zero.
So
you get a lot of like vanillinins, right, out of the American versus the French, more the vanilla kind of quality.
But we also noticed that even though there was no necessarily woody or oak character, we were picking up a cask character that we liked in it. So then we wanted to keep that aged cask, and then we just started supplementing with oak chips so that we got that kind of old cask character, but then we still got some of that new wood character from the chips.
What do you mean about wood? Kind of an oxidized kind of...
It's actually hard to describe. It's almost a kind of a wet wood character.
Okay. A little musty.
Yeah.
And, okay. Well, that's interesting. So if it loses the oak character after a couple of batches and you still want it, you'll put it in the barrel and add oak chips to the barrel to get that back. Okay.
A little bit of new.
Exactly.
As opposed to buying a new barrel every couple of batches.
Yeah, we don't have that kind of money.
Yeah, and homebrewers don't either, of course. I mean, Sean does, but...
Right.
Well, I mean,
I don't. I barrel it.
He has to dig his money out.
Sully, you gotta.
Yeah, Sully.
Sully's
Call me Sully.
Sorry, my fault. I always
Sully.
screw that up sometimes.
So, so you found that you don't get that much oak quality after a while with it being a brand new oak, because that's puzzling to me.
Actually, that is a bit surprising to me too.
Well, the first.
Should I say it? Well.
You can say it. Well, the first one is big oak. The second one is probably just about right, and then the third one we were like, wow, where's the oak? So
really,
yeah. So after but let me say this: each one is
what you do in your brewery. That's what you do. What I do.
What do you do?
Is what I do.
I've made watermelon wheat. Don't you know who I am?
That's what you do.
That watermelon wheat was, or the watermelon funk was phenomenal. But we digress.
So what you're saying is that the first batch you put in there, you've got a lot of oak.
Too much, maybe.
And then the too much, and then the second one, you've already had oak in there, and then it's not as much, and then the third year is basically
and each
flat.
Each one is sitting on.
I would agree with that.
Let him answer.
Okay. Each one is sitting on oak for 6 months to a year each round.
Yeah.
So it's extracting quite a bit of oak out of each round.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense too. I guess if it's sitting in there for so long, it's really pulling it out. I'm not going to argue because it's really such a great flavor out of this barley wine that I'm
having to scavenge half-drunken glasses.
Trying to find more.
Awesome, yeah.
Stephanie's not drinking any of this because
I know. I got a little bit right here.
Too busy typing.
Don't worry.
Typing
you could snag it. You won't even.
We've already taken them away.
Yeah. Okay, so you'll go ahead and just add oak right to the barrel.
Correct.
All right. Now, you had talked about prepping the barrel. So let's say you want that kind of a bourbon flavor, or maybe port, maybe wine, whatever it is you want. You guys will then soak the barrel. You'll throw how much of whatever fluid you're talking about you throw in there?
Well, we do a couple things first. We actually hit the barrel with 190 degree water.
First, so it's a brand new barrel. Throw 190 degree water in it.
Correct.
Okay.
Sanitize it, let it sit overnight, come in the morning, drain it out, and then after we let it sit another 24 hours to dry a bit, and then we hit it with, say a 10 gallon to 30 gallon, it's essentially the same, it's going to soak in. We'll hit a liter of whiskey or scotch, whatever we want to do.
Some kind of rock gut.
The good stuff if you're buying by the liter.
It's not rock gut. I'd say it's middle of the range. But if you've got $50 to dump into a bottle to put into your cask, you get to recover it at the end. And
what do you do with it when you're done?
Sure.
It's got lots of wood character, let me tell you.
So do a good one if you can.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So,
but you said only a liter in the whole barrel.
Well, you're constantly shaking it, and it's going to kind of soak into all the surfaces. You're just essentially trying to spice the barrel.
Okay.
And then we drain it all out.
Okay.
And then we bung it, and then, within probably 24 or 48 hours, we fill it up with whatever beer we're going to put in there.
Okay, now I think that's an important piece of information. Once you've done that, you've prepped it with what you're doing. Is it that it can't sit for longer if it dries out too much?
Well, you're trying to sanitize it as well using the hot water and the alcohol in there as well. So you never want to keep it in any kind of condition that could contaminate what you've just done.
Okay.
So even though the barley wines are higher alcohol and they're a bit self-decontaminating.
Yeah. That's why my dad drinks scotch, by the way.
Right.
It feels like he's
self-decontaminating.
Feels like he's constantly cleaning himself.
Yeah, exactly.
Unlike you. Yeah, exactly.
Shower in a year.
How about that germ phobia thing you got?
Yeah, I should try scotch.
So it's a twofold process. We're trying to spice and we're trying to somehow decontaminate the barrel as well.
Okay. And I think that not just that part, the reason I was asking is we had a guy post on our forum. You know him, he's in your club, Doc. He had got a barrel from somebody, and the barrel had kind of dried out, and he was all stoked. He brewed this one day, and he
filled it right up.
As he was boiling, he went and he hadn't put his beer in there, but he was stoked that when he was done with his boil, he was going to go straight into the barrel. He was doing a lambic.
A dry barrel.
But the barrel had dried out that somebody gave him. He filled it up with hot water because he was trying to sanitize it, and it just leaked all over the place. Yep. So is this something that'll happen if you let your barrel dry out?
Oh, definitely. I mean, we have a barrel right now, a brandy barrel that we got, and it's probably my weekly obligation to go and water it down. On the ends, you let the butts fill up with water, and that kind of soaks into the end grain as well. But you definitely want to keep that baby hydrated.
So never let those guys dry out, or
you can rehydrate them.
You can rehydrate them,
but don't think you're just going to go brew
It's
into
like
a dry
a week,
barrel.
It's probably like a week or 2 week long process to rehydrate them because that wood has to slowly expand. You fill it up, it drains out. You fill it up, it drains out.
And you might still get leaks too. It depends on how the staves kind of repack, and then you have to go and find those leaks, and you can fix those and
read them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So aside then from the hot water to try to sanitize, and then for some high alcohol whiskey or whatever to not only give flavor but also to sanitize, you don't have to do any burning to a barrel or any other kind of preparation.
How about sulfur? Do you guys?
The wine industry uses that quite a bit, but I've also seen some wine industry guys starting to hit their barrels with some hot water to try to get away from all the sulfur and that sort of aspect as well.
Interesting.
Or ozone, I hear, is pretty good
ozone.
too. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a good sanitizer.
No
yeah,
kidding.
like you put water in there, and then you hit it with an ozone machine.
Yeah.
And it just zaps everything.
No kidding.
Ozone's a great oxidizer as well, I believe.
Yes.
That's its effectiveness. So if you want to introduce that into your beer barrel.
Yeah. Now look at JP over there.
I'm smart.
Yeah,
I sell it, so I should know a little bit about it. Right?
Yeah, at least a piece of something.
But if you ask me anything else, I have no idea.
He's like, I know it's called ozone, and they use it on stuff.
Coors uses it. They have a giant one at their brewery.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of people kind of started using it too for just zapping stuff in general, not even for barrels.
Don't you have one of those at home, Doc?
Yeah.
I think I was at your house one day and we had
there was
one.
an ozone machine.
Was that what that was?
Yeah, I was like, Doc, I'm getting sunburn. Could you put a little ozone?
No, it just gets rid of the cousin smell too.
Does that. So that's really the kind of the basis of you guys prepping your barrels then, and then you just keep them hydrated, and when you have a batch ready, you dump it right in there.
Right. And ours tends to be partially carbonated as well when we put it in, even though you try to degas it. But again, you'll see a little leakage around the bung there.
You will.
I hate when you have leakage around the bung.
Yeah, last time I
if I had to go to the doctor for once for that.
That's never good.
Bung leakage is never good.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: when you do put the beer into the
bung,
into the oak barrel, do you add any yeast or anything like that? Because I've done that in the past where. In order to scavenge oxygen out, or sort of create more of a low dissolved oxygen environment.
Well, actually,
I deserve that one.
We haven't experimented down that avenue yet.
Okay,
but it's interesting.
I did that once.
All right, so
I didn't come in second place though.
We had mentioned earlier about a problem with oxygen putting it into an open cask. How are you guys dealing with that? How are you purging it? Or?
I pre-purge the shit out of that cask. I basically, being a family program here,
that's really what you got to do.
You got to do.
Yeah.
I hook up. I basically hook up a hose with no fitting on the end up to our CO2 system. Put it right down into the bottom.
Okay.
CO2 being heavier.
Yeah.
I put it into the bottom of the cask and let it go for 5 minutes.
Turn it on.
And then you take the hose of wherever you're coming out of, and obviously put that all the way to the bottom of the...
Exactly. And then I run the CO2 on top of it while I'm filling it as well.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, why not, right? That's a great idea.
Right. It's a good idea.
Yeah. I like that idea.
Costs me about $10,000 a year in CO2, but it's
exactly.
worth it. Right?
You wonder why my beer costs are out of line.
Sean,
CO2.
Yeah, Sean over there just went, you do? I didn't know you
Wait
did
a minute,
that.
we talked about that.
Oh, that's a proprietary secret.
Yeah.
Can't talk about that.
Okay, and then how about this? Because along with the oxygen part, people are asking, if a barrel is porous, well, what about the oxygen getting into the beer over the couple of years it's going to sit in that barrel?
Well, we can't we control the time that the beer is in the barrel. So it sits in the barrel between 5 and 6 months. That's kind of our sweet zone. We haven't gone longer because usually we have competitions and stuff that we want to get that beer off to. But it usually sits in there for no more than 6 months, and then it goes back into a keg. And we actually find that we prefer to take it off of a barrel several months before a competition or before drinking, because some of that woody character starts to mellow and reintegrate into the beer, adding more complexity.
Okay. Really? No. Now, see, that's another good thing too. Is when, just in general, when to take it out of the barrel. Is that just something that you guys taste it and say, okay, we're happy now, let's get it out of there and into a keg?
I think it's It was a little bit more random than that. So
oh, really? You're like,
I randomly hit some.
Hey,
good
I got
luck.
Wednesday off. How about you?
Well, it's more like, hey, it's 6 months. Let's take it out.
You know what's so funny is that this is the beauty of like aging a beer like this is that, and these guys have won a lot of awards and all that, but it really is kind of helter skelter in a lot of ways. You have no idea, and like, okay, let's try this. Let's see what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that you're not. You've done great. Your beer tastes phenomenal, and you've won a lot of awards.
He just called you guys a fluke.
Right. Exactly.
No, I'm not saying that. No.
I'm going to call him on that, but you're going to run with it.
Wouldn't you expect from the guy from Harvard that he would have like a checklist, like going, Sean, I'm going to need you in the brewery here because it's 6 months to the day next Tuesday.
Yeah.
But that's not happening.
Right.
Well,
it's kind of like,
because I have a brew that day.
But that's the beauty of what you're doing. I'm not,
We've done it at 3 months.
You're going to kick my ass out in the kitchen afterwards, aren't you?
Pretty much. A beer bong. But we've done it at 3 months, and we just didn't have the same character as well. You put it in, and like you said, I'm like, I got a million things to do, and all of a sudden it's 2 months later, you're like, shit, I'm only going to get 4 months in that barrel or something like that. And so we put it in, and like, wow, it just doesn't have the same character that we want. So, go back to 6 months and say that's what we need to get the character out of the barrel.
Have you ever...
Pretty much like Sean.
Now, are you
get back to the whole oxygen thing on the barrels.
Yeah,
it's a great comment, because when we do put our barley wine in the cask, it is carbonated, and we take it out.
That's part of it, yeah.
So there's a lot of breathing going on in the cask. There's no doubt. And being huge on scientist side of this, the oxidation of it is always a worrisome. But that's part of the character of the barley wine too. Barley wines are allowed to get oxidized, and with their high alcohols and stuff, it does give a sherry, slight port-like flavors to them as they age. But that's part of the integration.
You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Obviously you don't want a cardboard metallic barley wine.
No.
But the cask you breathe. No doubt the beer is flat when we take it out, so it has been breathing. Oxygen's been coming in. And you just pray a whole lot that integration is going to be part of it, and it's going to be a good thing.
Well, that's why
it's a great question.
Yeah, that's why I think you have to build your beer around what your barrel's going to do. You can't just put every beer in there and know that I think it's going to be great. I think you really have to go, well, how is it going to? You have to think ahead. You have to do it a couple times, and I think you have to think like, okay, it's going to be a little oxygen. You're going to get some oxygen. You're going to get that oak. You're going to it's going to be mellow and do all this kind of stuff. What's going to work well with that? What's going to blend? What's going to enhance that? I think.
Yeah, I think you guys, you're both absolutely right. One of the best barley wines I've ever had, and by the way, yours are some of the best barley wines I've ever had.
Yeah, thank you.
Was that not you, JP?
Oh,
no. The first time I went to the Toronto Barley Wine Fest, actually, Sean O'Sullivan went and bought. You bought a bottle.
J. Lee's?
It was Lee's, and it was like from the 80s. And it was, and it was really musty, and it tasted like a basement, and it was and it tasted really earthy and musty and damp, and kind of a lot of things that as you describe it, people would go, God, why would you drink that? And it was really one of the best beers I'd ever had in my life. It was so complex with those things. And a lot of that, I think, had to do with oxygen being in there. It wasn't cardboardy on any level, but it definitely just had this kind of a moss, earth, musty. You know what I'm talking about, Sean? When they're that old and they age that much, it becomes a part of the beer, so it's not then an infection anymore. It's the character.
I think Michael Jackson actually said that it's sort of the sweet spot for barley wines is like 4 to 5 years.
Is that what he said?
And, and that beer was in a bottle, so you got all those other issues with capping and all that that occur with that. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it's when you do it right and you hit that sweet spot, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's all just kind of part of it. Okay, here somebody wanted to know. Actually, before I ask that question, I wanted to ask if you take it out of you guys take it out of your barrel 6 months, whatever you've done. If you're not happy with it then, have you ever made any adjustments afterward? You ever thrown oak chips into, or is it once it's out of the barrel for you guys? I mean, home brewers, we can put it into a corny, open the top and throw some more oak chips on there if we weren't happy with the oak flavor or something like that. Have you guys ever made corrections after you've taken out of the barrel for 6 months?
Oh, definitely. It's nice to add, it can be nice to add some hops to it. We have some firkins in the brewery as well. We can add some hop sacks into Zach.
Firkin out.
All right.
Welcome to the show, Craig.
Firkin Sack.
This happens every...
Sure you're tasting barley wine.
Yeah, exactly. So, you can add some hop sacks into the keg and to freshen up the hop flavor if it's the fresh hop flavor if it's gone too much into the background. So
okay,
good. Nice balance.
I'm glad to hear that because I just think that sometimes I know that in fact when I talked to Sean about this topic that we're going to do today, one of the things I said I want to talk about aging beers, and one of the first things he said to me is, "I'll tell you what, man, there's a lot of luck of the draw. You don't know what you're going to get at the end of it," and I kind of felt like I want to know that there's still something you can do at the end of it if you're not happy.
Kind of like a first date.
Well, yeah, right, exactly.
And there's still something you can do. You could punch her.
You can maybe pull it out.
Right. Look at that. We're talking about spicing it up too. If you've got funk, you can't.
And then
you can do about
sure
that.
If it's contaminated,
right? And that gets back to sanitation from the very beginning.
Well, yeah, maybe you can throw some fruit in there and call it a lambic.
There was a guy actually a long time ago. This is when Belgian beers weren't very popular.
It's a good story.
Probably about 15 years ago. And can I say the name of the brewery? Probably not.
Why are you looking at me?
We don't have any.
It's not my brewery.
You know what? Just say it. We'll still blame it on you.
Yeah.
We can beep it out.
I'm looking at JP as the moral compass.
That's a wrong.
That's good.
Look at Chad or Stephanie as your moral compass.
Anyway, so there was this brewery that entered this beer at the Barley Wine Festival, and he called it, it was a Belgian barley wine. And, this is before anybody was ever really doing any of this stuff.
What are those?
So
I haven't had one of those in a long time.
And you were tasting, and you were like, all right.
Yeah. I get the Belgian part.
And now they're out of business.
Oh, is that right? Really? Yeah. What company is it?
Not the 21A, located at 563.
It was up in Sonoma County.
Who was it? Come on. They're out of business.
It was Cave Dale Ales from up in kind of above Healdsburg.
Oh, so. I never had their stuff. Yeah. Do you know the guys?
I don't
you ever see him around or anything?
I don't even know where he is now.
They're dead.
Yeah.
The guy went out of business. He hung himself in a shower.
But maybe he was, this is when I'm going to bring it full circle. Maybe he was ahead of his time, and he was, and he thought that this was going to be like the next best thing, and he
could be right.
He was,
Or he's trying to pull one over on us.
Or next year's tornado infection will be the.
Maybe he just didn't. He already paid his entry fee, and he didn't have another beer to enter it, right?
Anyway, so, yeah, what Craig said.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sean.
Okay, here's the question from a listener. 888-401-BEER, plus you can join Steph in the chat room if you have any questions. We're going to be wrapping things up, so get to it now if you want to get anything out there. Someone wants to know, if I oak age for 6 months in a carboy, Doc, you could probably, help us out with this too.
Okay. What the hell?
So he's got it in the carboy for 6 months with oak chips. He wants to know if he leaves it on the oak chips for that long, or does he, transfer?
I'd pull it off of there.
Put cubes if you're going to leave it on for over 3 weeks.
What aside from the obvious, what's the difference in flavor between oak chips and cubes?
It's surface area and how much you're going to pull out of the wood.
Okay.
Wood.
So cubes have less surface area.
Cubes have less surface area where chips have more. So if you want a faster infusion of oak, use more surface area, use chips.
Okay.
If you want a slower one, use cubes. You want really slow, use a barrel. Or a really old barrel.
That's kind of experimentation. The surface area is a huge question. So when we first started using the chips, we weren't really sure about how much chips to use because of that surface area.
And the oak can really peak to the point where it's nasty at first.
Oh, definitely.
And don't throw it out because it'll all mellow back down again. I had one of my first oaked pale ales I did, I couldn't even drink it, but I wouldn't throw it away. And I'd come back to it, other beers to drink, and I'd come back to it. Yeah.
The sting of pride.
Yes, it was. And so finally, I hadn't tasted it for a couple of weeks, and I go, well, I'll try that again. I'd been tasting along the way. And I just, just cringe to pull on that tap handle. And I pull it. It just brightened up. It was great. And I sat down to dinner. I'm having it, just enjoying this thing. I was all proud of myself because this nasty oaky thing that I had tried just turned beautiful.
And then your wife started talking.
Well, she did.
And steak started looking a lot better.
Then I said, I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna have another one. And when I pulled the tap handle, it went.
Then.
You can't do anything to me, woman!
We also find, that we kind of throw away that first pint off the keg, too, because you get so much sediment in the bottle, it just, bottom of the keg, it gets sucked up, and it's usually pretty cloudy and nasty.
the thing, he's going to have a really oaky beer
if he leaves it on for 6 months.
Yeah,
okay.
But it will mellow back out. So don't throw it away by any means.
Well, it depends on what.
But he's got to sample it, right? He's got to taste it.
Oh, he'll taste it, and it'll be really oaky.
How do we get samples out of a carboy? I know it's a little off topic, but it's a good question because we're talking about having to taste it.
Positive
JP,
pressure.
if you got
a wine thief,
you got a wine thief or something like that,
which is essentially you just kind of put something down
a
with
wine thief.
That has, it's just like a big pipette.
Yeah, I mean, with some of the stuff you have, there's
That's
kind
what
of
it is, right?
a rule of thumb.
I didn't know you knew what a pipette was.
Listen, I am college educated here, Dr. Scott. I didn't go to fucking DeVry. I almost went to DeVry.
Yeah, but I didn't go there. It depends, on what base beer it is, and then you can kind of gauge it. But yeah, he should be pulling it out. Pulling his wood out, seeing what's going on.
Should he be pulling it out slowly and it should be fully
sampled? Or do you just whip it right out?
No, you pull it right very slowly. You want to take care of your wood. No, but I mean, and if preferably, I would think if he has a keg, if he kegs, rack it into the keg on top of wood, and then he can transfer it somewhere else. That way he can take samples as it goes on, because you're opening that up and you're putting you're dipping your tube in there in the liquid and you're whipping it around, you're pulling it out. You have to be careful about sanitization every time you open that thing up.
What if your pipette is too small to get a proper sample?
That's an infomercial, isn't it?
See, I had a problem with that once, and
Insight.
I think there's something you can take for that, right? I'm sorry, guys. Sean, Craig.
I know Sean Burns is over. He's like the gentleman brewer. This guy is he's in a press shirt here.
Yeah.
He's wearing black pants.
But you know what? You know what though?
Like I'm not of professional.
But I'm not buying it. I think he's sitting over there telling the dirtiest jokes that any of us are saying. He's just keeping it to himself.
Sean's got a great story.
When Sean Burns used to work at Black Diamond in Walnut Creek, we called him the gentleman brewer because he would brew in pressed shirt and slacks.
Oh, that's how you brewed?
He did it. He really did.
And he would wear penny loafers. The guy was like, he'd walk in there and be
not loafers, but he was in Dockers.
Penny loafers.
And you were like, are you the king?
Are you brewing today?
Sean, what was the deal with that? What was with you being all pressed when you're brewing?
The guy is put together.
It's like one step below Garrett Oliver, I think.
Tell me about, I gotta know about that. Why not a t-shirt and jeans? Why were you all pressed?
It doesn't have to be a dirty job.
I mean, look at him. The guy is a good looking guy, and it's even for JP.
Whoa! Sean, here we go.
I'm going to mute you guys both if you don't let him answer. I got to know what's the deal with this.
I used to get a lot of harassment for that early on.
Yeah.
I used to brew in Dockers in a Black Diamond Polo, and at the end of the day, I was clean. And most brewers come in and go, "What are you doing? Have you brewed today?" "I brewed today." And look at your outfit. It's all clean, and you're not sweating on the arms like solely on the archive pictures on this show and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It was I didn't have an answer for it. I was like, this is where I started, and I didn't know what other brewers did. Obviously, I didn't have a goatee and a long ponytail and stuff, and tie-dye shirts. And everyone
talking
called
about
me the gentleman's brewer.
Is it that you had like a lackey to do the dirty stuff, or you were doing the dirty stuff and you remained clean?
I think he had a plan, and it just went according to plan. It didn't get dirty.
No, I did a lot of dirty stuff.
No brewer brews according to plan.
I got on my hands and knees and scrubbed out the mash tun every time in these Dockers and Polo, and I don't know. I didn't touch anything. I didn't have an out of control sprayer on the hose. I don't know what it was.
Stain resistant Dockers.
So when you were a kid and like all the kids were sliding into home base, you were like twinkle toeing it down the.
No. I was the dirtiest guy in the baseball field. But,
really?
Yeah. I don't. It was
slide
really
for glory.
I honestly don't have an answer. I used to get a lot of harassment for being the brewer at Black Diamond. Brewers would come in there and be like, look at me like, you brewing this? Yeah, why? It's like,
where's your assistant?
Sean, the 21st, for it was the 21st Amendment, it still had, some of these corporate places would make you don the whole,
the outfit.
The outfit,
logo thing.
Well, Sean dresses like he's homeless.
You weren't sure if he was under the hood at a car auto shop or, at the brewer, but, it's just what I started off in, and it worked.
Yeah, see, now I'm uncomfortable around you. I went into Schooners the first day with, like, holes in my pants and stuff, and now I know why he looked at me like I was an ass.
He's like,
because you are.
Radio guy?
No, that was the second reason.
I actually tried the Dockers things because I knew what he did at Black Diamond, but I think after my 4th or 5th pair of Dockers being sprayed with caustic and being ruined, I'm like, screw this. I don't know how he did it.
Yeah. Wow, so you're always kind of dressed to the nines.
Well, he's the out front guy now, so yeah.
Yeah, so now he has to.
Yeah, he has to be that.
Sean, you're the out front guy for your business,
Absolutely not.
Okay.
You kind of are, though.
Yeah.
Like,
I kind of am.
No, you need a name like Nico to be the front guy.
So when you go,
Hair
Sean,
like Nico. We'll have hair anyway.
Actually, this is a great question because Sean, you're kind of on this tour where you're out. You're talking to a lot of folks about your new ventures.
Yeah.
I've never seen you in a suit. What do you wear when you go talk to these people?
You're looking at it.
Really? You're like hat and a t-shirt?
Yeah, I mean, I am what I am, and
do you shave, Popeye, or what?
No, I do shave, but I don't know where this is going. But I talk to people.
Is this going?
I'm like the everyday man. I'm like I
think Steph's ready to get on this one.
And you got something to say there, Stephanie?
I had muted Steph because she was typing.
That's
Go ahead.
okay.
Steph, does he actually shave?
He does shave sometimes.
It's a little bristly down
His
there.
face?
And he shaves.
Oh.
He can clean up. We went out to supper last night, and he had a great button-up shirt.
I think he cleans up nice.
That's what I was going to say. He cleans up nice.
I will tell you something. I met her. Okay, this is long, but I'll make it short.
Yeah, make it short.
I went to her family's house for Thanksgiving dinner. I never met her family before. I sat there and I felt like I was a politician running for office. And I'm sitting there. It was, first of all, the driest Thanksgiving I ever went to. And I sat there, and people were all looking at me like, "Who's this guy dating my young daughter?"
I didn't know that Jews celebrated Thanksgiving.
Yeah, well, you kind of were like running for office.
But they kill an effigy of Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
Sean, you're running for the office of Poontang. Okay, that's the office that you were running for.
Sully, I've been really nice over here trying not to throw you under the bus.
That's
but
fine.
I think
It's all
you're going
over now.
Anyway.
But he does. He put on a nice button-up shirt.
I
He wore a
cleaned up
pair of
well.
jeans. There were some holes in your
He
jeans.
wore a pair of jeans. Oh, so he had a shirt with holy jeans.
Anyway,
It was part of
Holy,
this-
come on, don't
but-
go there.
No.
Yeah.
does.
My fault.
Driest Thanksgiving ever.
There were other factors.
I think Sean was
at play.
very nice, but his pants leave a lot to be desired.
I can't believe him.
He didn't wear the holy pants.
His
in
skin
the
is so
house.
pink.
He knew better.
He has a big head.
Jews don't have big heads.
No, but they're very
As long
nice.
as she loves him,
What's
it's
going
okay.
on downstairs, honey? How'd you put up with that? He's Irish.
He got along with my father very well, so
He's Irish.
he is the Irish one.
All right, that's enough personal sharing, Stephanie. Get back to typing.
You type better.
It's just like at home.
Sully, you're walking a thin line right now.
I like it when Stephanie calls him Sully.
Yeah.
Like, it's so impersonal for her. Like, for us, it's personal. It's because we like him. That's why we call him Sully. But for her, it sounds like impersonal.
She has like 10 different ways of saying Sully, and they just, you can immediately tell what what she's
mood.
feeling, what her mood is. Exactly.
She stepped back one and then called you Sully.
Sully. Anyway.
Yo,
all right. I'm like, let me get this back together. How about a quick break? We're going to come back and wrap things up. Don't worry, Sean. I'm going to let you go sometime tonight. You got that look on your face over there, like
he's having a good time.
He's having a blast. He loves it here.
He's got that. The sweat is rolling up under his armpits.
No.
He wonders if he's going to have the same picture as
Do I
you.
have to sit underneath my armpits?
You know what? He's wearing an undershirt.
I think it's the actual. I've been drinking barley wine, Stony.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's the once you've had a little barley wine, you just have that Stony buzz look, and you're feeling good.
No, that's true. Or it's that after hanging out with us bunch of tards all night, he feels like he needs a shower. He is the clean guy, right?
It's like gritting his teeth, going, "All right, you guys, I can't wait to get out of
He's
here."
wearing an undershirt. I haven't worn an undershirt since Catholic school.
Yeah, he does have us. Maybe we'll get him to take.
I know why.
We want you down to only your undershirt by the end of the show. Hang in there. We'll be right back with Schooners, everybody.
You're listening to the Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
St. Paul in his letter to the Ephesians said, "It came to me upon a midnight clear. I finished writing
is sex and beer. Mark Antony looked down on Caesar's body. He said, friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ear. I did not come here to praise Caesar. I came here for sex and beer. Sex and beer. Sex and beer are the two things we hold dear. Sex and beer. Sex and beer are the things we like round here. George Washington, he never crossed the Delaware. There was no midnight ride for Paul Revere. Ben Franklin never discovered electricity. They were too busy looking for sex and beer. Sex and beer are the two things we hold dear. Sex and beer. Sex and beer are the things we like round here. Charles Dickens gave us great expectations. Shakespeare gave us Hamlet and King Lear. Dostoevsky gave us crime and punishment. Who the hell is gonna give us sex and beer? Sex and beer are the two things we hold dear. Sex and beer. Sex and beer are the things we like round here. Sing it so I can dance. Sex and beer. City to the suburbs to the country, from the southern to the northern hemisphere, they're holding a tremendous referendum, and everybody's choosing sex and beer. Sex and beer are the two things we hold dear. Sex and beer. Sex and beer are the things we like round here. They can take away my pride and my dignity gone. They can use up all my blood and sweat and tears used. They can take away my name and give me a number, 911. But they can never take away my sex and beer. Sex and beer. Sex and beer are the two things we hold dear. Sex and beer. Sex and beer are the things we like round here. We like sex and beer and sex and beer and sex and beer and sex and beer.
This is www.thebrewingnetwork.com.
Sit down next to it, grab yourself a paper towel, and watch those yeast have sex.
You're listening to the Brewing Network.
And now back to the Brewcaster. The Brewcaster on the Brewing Network.
Everybody everybody having a hard time settling back in here. It's the barley wine, everybody.
Yeah.
We can never do a complete barley wine show. I'm glad that we kind of mixed this one with some barley wine and some other. If we did a whole barley wine show...
Forget about
it. Yeah, can you imagine? Yeah, exactly. We'll invite you back, Craig, because you're good at that. You might be the best one on the barley wine show.
Are we on? I don't think we're on.
We're not even on.
Yeah.
We're here with the guys from Schooners. If you're just tuning in, you're really late because we're almost done. Trying to get out of here pretty soon. We've got Sean and Craig, both the guys that run the show over there at Schooners. Of course, there's other people that make it happen, but nobody cares about those people. Sorry, Sean.
They're minimum wage anyway.
And we're going to finish up our barrel discussion and maybe a couple of random questions for these guys.
Bung.
Easy.
Nice. Bung.
Chad's out there fighting with the Chinese food guy. Trying to get us.
Yeah, what's going on out there?
He's trying to tell him to take a right or left.
Sorry, no
delivery.
delivery.
So far away. Yeah.
So our listeners have been really cool last few weeks since Daniela left. They know that there's nobody here to take care of us, and we starve every night.
That's right. Round of applause for listeners.
So listeners have been just great. They've been sending us pizza every week and just different things. And this week's the Reefer Brow over there in the chat room and a forum user, he sent us a bunch of Chinese food. And the Chinese food place, that not only did he call an order, like went out of his way to order and all this, but he's been fighting with the guys for a half an hour. So now Chad's in there trying to make it happen because they won't deliver here.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Well, we're in Pacheco, and the thing with Pacheco is not that it's far from everything; it's that it's not on the map.
You know, can I tell you something?
Like we're literally not on the map.
I bought this. Yeah, I bought this GPS thing to so I could find myself around the world, and because I need help with that.
And make your planes on time.
And I typed in your address, and it wouldn't come up.
No, we're off the map. We're in unincorporated territory. There are things that are positive about this, and Chinese food is not one of them. Chad, are we good to go? Chad says that we're good to go.
Hey,
Chinese
Chad!
food's on its way.
And can I just say, too, that Reefer has taken an exact order from JP with
Wow.
several things on the menu
Oh,
for
nice.
me.
It's really very nice.
I hope you guys like dog balls.
Thank you. Listen, it's really nice because if you think about it, like the guests, they come out, they drive from wherever to hang out with us too, and they're here. They show up early, usually around 4:30.
You hear that, Sean?
They're
Early.
here till 8:30, 9:30. It's a long day, and I'm just saying, I'm giving a big fat thank you because it's really appreciated by everybody, and a little nourishment, keeps us drinking and keeps us alive.
Yeah, we can't throw him a couple of pretzels and say, thanks.
No, which is what I would do.
Yeah, when Daniela was here, she would pull out a full German spread. It was like meat, cheese, and bread, and
spreads
you'd
of
go
all
out
kinds.
there. It was crazy. I was amazed by it all the time.
You start going about 9 o'clock, and
We missed
now,
that.
Justin hasn't eaten in a while. So.
Yeah, I've not eaten.
He's looking a little thin.
Well, I eat on Sundays because the listeners are good to us, so I think that's fair enough.
And it's the Lord's holiday.
It's the Lord's holiday.
Stephanie, do you think it's the Lord's holiday on Sunday?
They're already talking about Jews in the chat room. Let's just end this conversation.
They're God's people, those people.
See, Steph has it easy because us Catholics, it's all guilt and shit. And she's
I think the Jews have Catholic or guilt.
I think they have
whatever it is.
We have our big day of
She
guilt.
has a Catholic sometimes.
What's your guilt day?
Yom Kippur.
Oh, really? That's near my birthday.
Yeah, that's the big Jewish day.
By the way.
Catholics.
It's a week after Rosh Hashanah, the New Year.
But it's like one day of guilt, and then you're okay for the rest of the years.
You go and you don't eat. You fast.
You could murder somebody, and then you could
you're good the next day.
You don't. All right, sorry.
What do you do? What
you
happens?
go and you fast from sundown to sundown the next day.
Yeah.
And you go to temple, and then you atone for your sins, and you ask God to forgive you, and you ask to be inscribed in the book of life for another full year.
Oh. You don't apologize for killing Jesus, though.
That's too much atonement.
What?
Caller, you're on the air. What's happening?
That was the Romans, man.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
It's good. Who are we talking to?
Hey, talking to Zymergist.
Hey! Hang on 1 second, Zymergist. Fair warning, everybody. Word has it, Zymergist is hammered.
He sounds super hammered.
Yeah.
Did you hear that laugh?
So, Sean's family, who may or may not still be listening, you might want to go ahead and choose this time to stop listening and, have yourselves a nice night, some milk and cookies before bed. Sean will be home soon. We're gonna let Zymer just insult him for a couple of minutes first. Hey, brother, what's happening, man?
You must be joking.
I just had to give that disclaimer. What's
Thanks
happening?
for sending all those beers in last week. That was great.
Hey, did you have some of my barley wine yet?
No, maybe we. You know what? Since we're on the barley wine thing, as soon as we finish, we're about to have the oatmeal stout from Schooners. After that, we'll bust out your barley wine. We'll do that because I still got it in the fridge.
Just make sure that you've got some kind of heart stimulant, like one of those, electric pads around, so that you can jumpstart your heart if necessary.
Did anybody catch that?
Yeah, we're going to have a heart attack. Is what it is.
Oh, a defibrillator. I see.
Why?
Because it's a strong barley wine.
It's a hefty barley. I had a couple of your other beers actually during the week. I drank your Doppelbock myself.
Did you review them?
Which was actually really very nice. It was a good beer. I had your Poppin' Cherry last night. Chad and I drank your Poppin' Cherry.
And then they went out after that.
That was actually, of all the beer, you sent us a lot of good beers. Of all of them, that one was my least favorite. It was a little thin. It had a nice cherry flavor to it. It just was kind of thin. But everything else you sent's been awesome, dude.
It had a nice backbone.
Put in there, and it's had the damn Brett. And Brett eats everything.
Yeah, it's a tough thing to use. Did you call for any reason or just to hang out?
That's okay, too.
Hang out, and I called for the reason that, you guys needed a good tongue lashing.
That's kind of gay.
That's
true. You got your tongue and we'll laugh it.
Fair enough. We're going to drink your barley wine right after we finish the oatmeal stout. Thanks, Zymergist.
Zymergist is kind of...
Cheers, brother.
He's a funny guy because I had a layover in Portland last week.
Yeah.
And he wanted to come out and meet me at the airport and drink with me. And
You're there for 8 minutes.
I was scared.
The thing is...
But did you?
Because I was there for 2 hours or 3 hours, whatever it was, and so I went on, and you guys were doing a show, and so I was in the chat room, and he was like, "I'll come out and meet you." And he, and he's kind of, I don't know what kind of guy he is, but I know he makes a lot of beer, but I was afraid.
But Sully, I'm one of those people that I crave people I know, or I'm stuck in an airport. I hate that. And you're probably stuck in the airport a lot.
Yeah.
3 hours. I don't care who's coming to see me.
Well, I would have done it, but it meant that I had to go back to security and blah, blah, blah.
I'm still stuck on Doc Craves people he knows.
We need to get Sean and Doc on the show. Because they're both completely fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Seriously, they both have really weird stories and weird segues.
It gets odd.
Yeah.
It'd have to be like a Wednesday, some weird day.
You see what I mean? It's the oak barley wine.
You know what?
How weird
Let me tell you what's
not
odd.
9-hour drive on Wendy's.
I want to talk about what's not odd is this oatmeal stout.
Yeah, it's very good.
I'm not sure you guys brew anything that's not really good. We've had people in here who brew fantastic beer, and they'll bring several different ones. And we'll go, oh, yeah, that one's great, and that one's great. This one's okay. I don't think you guys have served us a beer yet that everyone hasn't gone, wow, that's a great beer.
Hated them all.
Mm-hmm. I think you guys stacked. Sean doesn't like it, but
because it's not in a can, I think.
Yeah, I think it just cemented.
If this was in a can, it would be better.
It cemented them another time to come back.
Yeah, I'd love that.
Yeah, congratulations, you guys win. You win another trip back here to Pacheco.
Fantastic.
I thought Sean was going to have to get on like 20 more times before he can come back.
Doc, you were interested in some barrel aging stuff. Is there anything that we didn't cover tonight?
Well, it's a lot of things are coming up where every that's the big new thing is throw it in a barrel.
That's right.
And for a lot of guys that want to try it, they don't know anything about wood. And do you buy a new barrel? Do you buy an old barrel? And you can probably find one somewhere.
Yeah, have you guys ever used an old one? Because we started right with the new, because that's what you use. Have you ever used an old one?
We are about to.
You're about to.
Yeah. We got the brandy barrel, and we'll try that for the first time.
What will you do to treat that to get it ready? Anything?
Nothing.
We'll just go right for it.
You go right for it. See, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
You can spend a year trying to figure out what you're going to do, but just dive into it, and at the end of 6 months, you'll know where you're at and where you need to go from there.
Yeah, some of the things are you got to fill it all the way. So whatever size you're going to get,
and keep it topped off.
Keep it topped off
all the way.
Keep it all the way filled up. If it's a new barrel, expect that. If it's an older barrel, what's in it?
We never opened ours back up.
Now, do you store
So we
yours
don't top
warm?
it
Or,
off.
Oh, you don't top it up. You just seal it and let some evaporate and soak
Now-
into the wood and all that.
Now, this is the tough part for the home brewer. We actually store ours cold.
Okay,
And
that's what I asked you.
We've found that a lot of warm storage induces a lot more soy character.
Yeah.
So
Ah.
if you like the soy character, then that's the route to go. But otherwise, we'd like to keep it as cold as possible.
Wow.
I got a question. You guys had talked about. Sorry, Sully.
That's fine.
When you prep your barrel with whiskey or whatever you do, and then you pour it out. I talked to a commercial brewer in San Francisco once who leaves it in. He puts the liter or whatever in there.
Just leaves it in.
And then leaves it right in there and then puts the beer on top of that.
Man.
Yeah.
Well,
but the beer, I had the beer he did it with. It was fantastic.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it can be a little overwhelming. Yeah, it depends on the volume.
Okay.
If you're doing a 60-gallon and you have a liter in there, that's a lot different than doing a 5-gallon barrel.
Okay.
They sell 5-gallon barrels, which is perfect for home brewers.
Which is a whole different thing too, because it goes back to the surface area.
Yeah. Right.
A 5-gallon
Right.
barrel has a lot more surface area than a 60-gallon.
Okay.
Yep, right.
So you're gonna get a lot more that oak character just coming right into it with a 5-gallon barrel.
But if you're leaving that whole liter, so you have a liter per 5 gallons versus a liter per 60 gallons.
I was just talking about just the size of the barrel
Right,
for what you're
right.
putting in there, and then if you're throwing a liter of scotch into that little 5 gallons,
Yeah, if you have access to a used barrel, don't just assume that everything's good. I mean, it might have an infection, it might have a lot of weird stuff in it. So
it might have sat out in behind somewhere for a while.
Well, no one ever lets their carboy sit out in the backyard fungating with random stuff in it.
Did you see my carboy sitting out in the backyard? Because I caught on to that real fast.
It just doesn't happen.
Ass.
I
they've only been there for 2 days.
Oh, okay.
You should have seen the ones that sat out there for a month, though.
Oh, yeah.
I had to give. They were so bad, I had to give them to Doc to clean out.
Yeah, he did.
It's like, Doc, you're a doctor.
Can you clean this?
What can you do about
clean
this?
But it'll cost you.
It took me a week.
You know, we didn't.
You're in my studio.
We didn't touch on it a lot, but I think what Sean just said a minute ago is Sully. I'm sorry.
Yeah, give it
Sean.
Talking to himself in the third person.
I think it's
Sean 1, Sean 2.
It's a really important thing about barrel aging is the temperature you keep the barrel.
Okay.
And we just touched, for the last hour we've been talking about it. But some of the barrels that we've talked to brewers that have had this incredible strong soy flavor.
Oh,
we
yeah.
talk about, there was a heat wave that week or that month, and the room that's normally kept at 70 degrees, 60 degrees got up to 80, 85, 90. We keep our barrels in the walk-in at cool temperatures. I'd love to be able to, personally, I'd love to see a more of a cask condition temperature in the 50s, but we don't have that luxury. But I think getting too warm, could be very detrimental to the flavor of cask. And I think it's very important because the temperatures, you're looking at 3, 6, 12 months aging.
Yeah.
The temperature of that cask and that product that's in it, I think, is a huge factor.
So not just that the temperature needs to be consistent, but you think that too warm can just ruin it too.
If you don't mind that real rich, deep soy sauce flavor, I don't care for it.
Yeah.
It depends on what beer it's in, and most times, no. There's certain beers that'll take it. But I've experienced that too.
You said take it.
Take it.
Well, Imperial
it's
Stout.
interesting. We have a part of our tasting group we do here is one of the distillers at Gallo, and they purposely expose their cask to pretty big temperature fluctuations to get that beer to go in and out of the wood.
Right.
To pick up that flavor. In and out wood. There you go.
Yeah, but I think that's, in theory, that sounds great, but
you can shorten the time. If you have big temperature fluctuations, then you could probably shorten the time you're aging it because it's getting a lot more wood exposure.
Okay. Oh, that might make sense then, because it's really getting into that. Yeah, because to me, Doc has sort of ingrained in me, he's been pretty good about, the key is temperatures that are consistent.
We are consistent.
So, yeah.
But I'm just offering that to understand the process that's going on there. The wood is going in and out of the beer's going in and out of the wood.
It soaks into the wood, and then when it dries out, it goes back and back and forth.
Well, that's great, I think, for some homebrewers out there that don't have a real consistent place that they're putting this thing. You guys might then want to, if it is changing like that, then maybe just shorten the time.
Right.
And your beer might come out better.
And what it's doing when it's going in and out, it has more access to, you think of the like in the Grand Canyon, how the Earth is layered like that. When you do toast
I'm with you, but it's a bit of a stretch. Let's go.
Well, yeah. Well, when you toast a barrel, you have the stuff that's it has access to the fire is a lot darker, and then it's layered, so darkest to lightest, and you have a spectrum of flavors in there.
Yeah.
So you have the beer kind of, go into the wood, you have access to those other deep flavors, and then, when it gets cold, it kind of, comes back in, which is why I recommend cubes over chips, because the cubes have those kind of layers, and you can get more of a depth of flavor than you can, I think, with a chip, like in a carboy or something. I'm sure, like in a barrel, when you're like a neutral barrel, when you're adding, it's a little different. But
yeah, Craig, you buying that?
I am. Stratification.
Okay. Then I'm with you.
I'm going to go to Harvard, I think.
Yeah, maybe you ought to go to Harvard.
You end up as a brewer. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's true.
And be a lot happier.
Don't waste your cash.
What cash?
Say cash.
All right. I think that's it, kids. I think we're ready to get out of here.
Hot.
Unless we haven't covered anything, we're going to go eat some Chinese food. We're going to drink Zymergist's barley wine. I think that'll be fun.
Thank you. Looking forward to it.
I think Doc brought us some goodies we might get to taste. And Chad and I bought a bunch of stuff, actually, too, that we'd like to share with you guys, too. So if you're going to hang out and eat some food, we'll go drink some beer.
Yeah.
Everybody, thanks for tuning in. Steph, good job over there.
Yay!
Was everybody nice to you?
Everyone was really nice.
Yeah?
Funny, I don't feel tardy.
You didn't have to kick anybody out?
No, I didn't.
No.
I ignored a few people.
Are they hot for teacher?
People. Just start kicking people.
Hot for teacher.
I don't think anybody knows I'm a teacher.
Do they got it bad?
Well, now they
got it bad.
Now they're hot for teacher.
Now I gotta find that song for
I got
now
my
on.
Pencil.
That's your new theme.
Give me something to write on. I don't feel tardy.
Man, I wish I had that right now.
We can play it,
but I don't. You'll have to fill time for 10 minutes while I find it.
Let me tell you about my last trip. I flew, and
is this a shameless plug?
They came down and they offered me a 7-Up or a Diet Coke or another beverage product, and I ordered that.
Yeah.
And then they brought me the peanuts first, and then eventually I got the Diet Coke.
Sully, when am I going to be able to buy your beer on an airplane? Because you got it in cans and stuff.
Yes, you'll be able to get that in an airplane by the end of the year.
Really?
Wow, what year?
That's awesome.
Can't you tear that can open?
No, you're shitting us, right? Really?
I am not shitting you.
You think by the end of this year you're going to have it in planes and stuff?
It should be on planes.
Wow.
Sure. I mean, you may not have to buy it on the plane.
Illegally.
But I will give you a can, and you can take it on a plane with you.
Liquid on a plane.
And you can sell it to other people.
I will fly more just because of that.
That's always a good reason to fly.
Jay, you need money first to fly.
Oh.
Did I say that out loud?
And you need friends to go to places to visit them.
Ouch. And what else do I need? A girlfriend who lives in my country to accompany me? Anything else, guys?
Yeah. No, just that you're alone. Is really
That's the main point here.
Yeah, you're just a lonely
the
guy.
main cabin, a shower once in a while might help too.
Justin, you're traveling this week, though, right?
Yeah.
On a plane.
On a plane. But
not my plane.
I don't know where your beer is. It won't be on that plane.
It will be. Actually, my beer will be in Texas this week.
Really?
So
only Texas?
Yes.
Aren't you bringing it with you?
Yes, it'll be in Austin.
Okay.
So,
and the hospitality suite there, my
yes.
friend? Oh, yeah.
For Cass Brewing Systems and their canning line. So
nice.
Yeah,
I can't
stop
play
by.
the song, guys. It won't let me do it.
A tribute
Just
to the
play
quality.
it.
I can. It won't
Why
let
not?
me. I tried. It's rights management issues.
All right.
No.
That's BS.
That's no fun. Yeah, I'll have Hot for Teacher next time you're here.
Oh, you know what? Look for Hot for Teacher by Ween. They do a really good cover of that song.
Not too late.
Oh, you mother.
It's too late. We're out
Anything
of here.
by Ween is good.
Yeah.
I like a pollo asada.
Don't
like
forget
a
that there's
basket of
no
cheese.
show next week because we're at the Craft Brewers Conference.
Yeah,
don't
I'll be
forget
here.
that there are a couple of shirts and podcasts left in the store. You guys have been doing real good at buying that stuff out so I can order new merchandise for you. You can order Brew Your Own magazine right off of our website, and it helps us if you do that, and it's a good magazine also. So don't be afraid to do that if you've been looking to buy that magazine. And click those ads that are on that site that rhyme with frugal or poodle or anything else.
Noodle.
It's free to you, and it helps us out, and that's a cool thing to do. A lot of you guys know
Those Pilsner glasses are great.
how to support. So,
I can
and
still
also,
come here next week, right?
what's that?
I can still come here next week.
Oh yeah,
Chad,
totally.
is that all right with you, man?
Chad will be here.
I'm not telling the wife I ain't having any show.
No, you shouldn't. You should.
I knew we got a great show on
In fact,
stats.
you and Chad ought to hit the Gold Club and find out.
We're headed to the city.
Yeah, man.
Chell
Why
will
not?
walk in late at night. Doc will be sitting in the studio with his headphones on.
Hey, where's everybody?
I'll be here Sunday too.
Yeah, there you go. You guys can all hit
women.
Gold.
I mean,
We
strip
gotta
club.
get a limo, go to Gold
Get
Club.
loaded and do the secret show.
Oh, see, you guys are
secret show.
well. Shit, now
The secret show.
Now maybe I'll come home early. Now that
There you go.
I'm gonna tell you, in all seriousness, Doc, don't tell her yet that there's no show.
Yeah, and I'm not.
All right, I'll let you know because I won't be back in time to start the show at 5, but maybe I'll be back in time to do some stuff.
You know what? Yeah, I caught some flack today about, I'm never around on Sundays and I'm not the family man and blah, blah, blah.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah. I said, well, yeah.
Well, you were there yesterday, right?
I'm there, like, all the time. It's just, I said, look, if we get early start on Sunday, we'll be good. We'll be a family. But this family does not start early.
I see.
And,
I like
you know
how
what?
it's their fault.
Comes before 4 o'clock, I'm outie.
Yeah.
I'm outie.
Hey.
You know what?
Yeah, I like that. Doc's like, listen, sweetheart, I'm outie.
What's that, honey?
And Justin,
I'm
really
outie.
fast.
Yeah.
Everyone's asking about the Free FM show. Obviously, that's canceled as well.
Next week, I'll be playing a best of.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
it'll still air, because I can't, it's actually kind of cool. We can't not air now. How's that for cool, Sully?
That's awesome.
Like it used to be that they could give a shit if we showed up or not, but now they like our show, and so we can't not air. I'll be running a best of show from 4:15 to 5:15. It's the pregame show to the Oakland A's next Saturday. We're always the pregame on Saturdays.
Do you know what
now.
time it is next week?
4:15 to 5:15.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, this week I did it with Ami from.
I heard a little bit of that when we were down in San Diego.
It's all right.
Yeah, it was
We
fun.
stopped the trip
Had a
to
lot
go
of
back
callers.
to the room
Oh,
to
cool.
log on to your show to listen.
Not because Sean wanted to make sure I was okay. He wanted to hear how the show was without
Well,
him.
he wanted to make sure his name was mentioned in the beginning that he wasn't
Did-
there.
did they-
You just have to listen to the first
Did they
10
say
minutes.
my name?
Stephanie, did they mention me?
Are they drinking beer out of can?
I think
Did they say I'll be there next week?
I officially mentioned you, Sully. I said
He did.
my co-host Sean O'Sullivan is not here today and filling in. So it wasn't as if I had just some. I said filling in for you.
Well, the way the
As if you'll be back.
The way the entertainment industry works is at any minute you could be yanked, and I was just like, "Oh, Ami, my new co-host."
He talked about it for about 20 minutes, and then I said, all right, you heard your name, let's go. Let's just lay down for a couple minutes.
Let's
We're tired.
just relax.
Be
Yeah.
Sean
We are
O'Imus.
tired.
So we took a nap.
Our
I'll be honest,
new
Sully.
tip is not setting in properly.
I'll be honest. Had Ami done really well, I'd have booted you in a
I
second.
know you would have.
I'd have
I
been
was
like-
gonna, I was going to call in and like spoil the show somehow.
And I would have lied to you about it too. I would have said, you know,
Yeah,
Sean,
you were great.
Beer causes AIDS. And hang up.
I would have said it's not me. CBS doesn't really like you.
We had a test group up in, out in Phoenix.
Oh, there
and,
definitely would have been a test group involved.
And they said they liked Ami better.
That's what I would have done.
The redhead turned them off.
He
We're
talked
going the
about
more
it for
ethnic
a
route.
while. Sully, let's go to the beach and play Frisbee. No, let's sit in the room. Let's listen to the show.
Yeah. Ah, that's cool, Sully. I like that. All right, so it's a rerun, best of next Saturday. There's no Brewing Network show on the Sunday.
Yes, there is.
And we are back.
Unless you're Doc's wife, in which case there will be one. And it's a very, very, very important
Have to be
show.
here.
Double
That-
length.
That goes really late.
Yeah.
Maybe
We're
we
having
should,
a meeting afterwards.
maybe we should do something in Austin, like get some, if there's some listeners out there. And
Sully, we're going to get off the air now. And
That's what the forum's for.
I like your ideas, but shut the fuck up.
Is that the number 2 bus coming by here?
Throw them under it.
Craig, Sean, you guys are awesome. Thanks a lot for hanging out with us.
Hey, awesome.
Thanks for the
Thanks.
beer, man. That was really great.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Can you guys come back?
What's the
Definitely. This is great.
Yeah, come back, hang out with us. It's schoonersbrewery.com. What's the address out there in Antioch?
4250 Lone Tree Way.
All right, if you're looking for some good Schooners beers, you can head out there for it. What are a couple of the places around the bay that it's on tap?
We are at Cato's Ale House. We're at Pete's Brass Rail.
Oh, good one.
There you go.
That's a great place.
Definitely. Bistro shows us some love.
Yeah.
And
Hop Yard.
Hop Yard.
Okay.
Are you ever on at the 2-1-A?
You know, we haven't seen
2-1-A.
any of that yet.
Hey, where's that? Where's that at?
563 2nd Street.
Whenever I go by there, I can't find anyone I know. So.
Jupiter. Also Jupiter.
Oh, okay, at Jupiter also.
And
Tornado?
That's
like
a
lightning bolts in
just
his head
like
right
during
now.
the festival.
All right. And also in June at the anniversary party, they will have a beer featured there along with a few other breweries when we do our anniversary party on June 3rd.
Great. Nice. I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, Dublin Sports Bar, too, in San Ramon.
Okay.
Awesome.
Fantastic. So a few places around the Bay, lots in the East Bay. You guys are awesome. Thanks for being so upfront with us today.
Awesome. Thanks for having us.
You gave out some good info. All right, everybody. So have yourselves a good night. Be safe. We'll see you in 2 weeks. You can check the Brewcaster blog because I think I'm going to be blogging from the CBC. It's my first time there. I've never been there, so I'll try to bring it home to you guys with some pictures.
Ooh, that'll be good.
And I'm going to go out on a limb right now and say look for a new podcast coming from the CBC, too. I've had this idea for a while. I've been working on it for a couple of weeks. If I can finish it all up tomorrow, I'll be putting out a new show, which will begin at the CBC, and we'll keep going after that. So keep an eye out, thebrewingnetwork.com. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. Take care of each other.
See ya. I want a real homebrew. Homebrew, don't you really love it? That a homebrew can't get enough of it. Homebrew, it blows my mind. I love homebrew all of the time. Yeah, I think I'll have me. Well, I'm the one right now. Cherry stout, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So don't you give me that American crew.